and selling precious metals, and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the American Civil Liberties Union demanded Amazon stop marketing facial recognition technology to government agencies, citing possible civil rights violations. The ACLU Foundations of California released emails Tuesday between Amazon and law enforcement agencies in Orlando, Florida, and the Washington County Sheriff's Office in Oregon regarding the facial recognition technology called Rekognition, which is powered by artificial intelligence. The team of 3 ACLU affiliates in California said in a release of the 147 pages of documents, which includes the emails, reveals how Amazon and its subsidiary, Amazon Web Services, marketed the facial recognition technology to law enforcement agencies. The document release capped a 6-month investigation into how Amazon has helped agencies deploy the technology. The ACLU Foundations of California said it objects to Amazon's marketing of Rekognition to these agencies based on privacy concerns and the potential for discriminatory abuse. It sent a letter Tuesday to Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos demanding his company stop marketing the product to government agencies. Tuesday's letter to Bezos said people should be free to walk down the street without being watched by the government. Facial recognition in American communities threatens this freedom. In over-policed communities of color, it could effectively eliminate it. A spokesperson for Amazon Web Services defended the company in a statement to The Hill. The spokesperson said, Amazon requires that customers comply with the law and be responsible for when they use AWS services. When we find that AWS services are being abused by a customer, we suspend that customer's rights to use our services. The spokesperson added, our quality of life would be much worse today if we outlawed new technology because some people could choose to abuse the technology. Imagine if customers couldn't buy a computer because it was possible to use the computer for illegal purposes. Tuesday's letter, also signed by other ACLU chapters and several other activist organizations that focus on defending constitutional rights, civil rights, and human rights, such as the Center for Media Justice, Color of Change, and Human Rights Watch. Malkia Cyrell, executive director of the Center for Media Justice, said in the release, we already know that facial recognition algorithms discriminate against black faces and are being used to violate human rights of immigrants. You can support FPP Radio by joining the FANS program. To learn more or to join the FANS program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports pirate attacks around South American and Caribbean waters are growing and violence is increasingly used during robberies committed on vessels at anchor, according to a report released on Wednesday. The Oceans Beyond Piracy nonprofit group recorded 71 incidents in Latin America and the Caribbean in 2017, an increase of 163% from 2016. They said the majority of attacks occurred in territorial waters, with around 59% of the incidents involving robbery on yachts. Venezuela, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Colombia, and St. Lucia were the regional hotspots during 2017. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The chimpanzee spends most of its day in the jungle, carelessly swinging from tree to tree and picking mites off itself, instead of building shelter and teaching itself how to read. This chimp is named Bolo, and researchers at Duke University have shown that he can solve 3-dimensional logic puzzles, an impressive feat indeed, until you learn that human children as young as 3 are also able to solve the puzzle. Even a mentally handicapped human is capable of verbal speech, something no chimpanzee has ever been able to accomplish, despite working vocal cords capable of howling in irritation after soiling itself. Chimps have been observed using tools, but their tools are little more than sticks. Even driving and preparing pancakes, tasks we leave to the stupidest, least educated humans, lay beyond the capabilities of the chimp.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here on the radio. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. Plus, we've got Discord. You can call in via the on-air Discord call-in line over at discord.fm. www.lrn.fm. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
Now, of course, you can bring up whatever you want. That's the point here on Free Talk Live, but we always have stuff we want to bring to the table. Coming up tonight, new policy from Amazon. Conan, you're going to tell us about it, and you're a former current
big time
Amazon seller. So this hits home, and there's a new policy that some people are going to find controversial. We'll get into that coming up here in a little bit. Also, some creepy facial recognition technology apparently that Amazon is pimping to governments. So that's disturbing. But we're going to start out tonight with the update from Venezuela. We didn't get a chance to talk about the election. I guess you guys maybe touched on it Sunday night.
Yes. Sunday was the day that the election happened, and there weren't official numbers. And even if there were official numbers, I don't know if we can really believe them, just because Maduro had said that he would stuff ballot boxes if he needed to. But it didn't
he said he would
like
start a violent revolution if he lost.
He's said a bunch of things.
He said he'd grab a gun and lead an angry crowd.
But I think the numbers that we had on Sunday was it looked like voter turnout was only about 17%, and those were basically the people that were loyal to Maduro anyway.
So we'll give you the update on that, and of course you can bring up whatever you want. And a court case about Donald Trump and Twitter. That's all on the way here. However much of it we'll get to, well, it's up to you. You can, of course, call in and bring up anything like Parker is doing. Are you in Washington right now, Parker?
I am in Washington, the Evergreen State.
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
Oh, not a whole lot. I just thought I'd run by you guys a couple of party game ideas I have.
All right.
The first party game idea that I have, it's pretty straightforward and simple.
Wait, Parker, stop. Is this something you can make money off of? Are you just gonna give up your secret party mix and someone's gonna steal and run with your intellectual property?
Okay, first off, intellectual property is not a thing.
All right.
I'm glad you said so.
I agree there.
So,
can you make money off of a party game? I mean, these are just like ping pong balls and cups, right?
There was a guy who made money off of bubble wrap.
So that's not a party game.
I know, but it's a thing.
The Heimlich family
has
I forget what the proper term is, but they've got some kind of claim on the term Heimlich maneuver. So if a medical professional in their report says, I performed the Heimlich maneuver, then the medical facility for which they work has to give 25 cents to the Heimlich estate.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting
If they
Parker
say abdominal thrust, then no royalty because they're not using the name.
I'm not suggesting Parker create a patent on this and start and collect over the years. I want him to actually create this and put it out into the market.
Well, let's hear what it is first. I mean, so party games, so we're talking about like for any kind of party, for children,
Twister.
For children's party, college,
not appropriate for children's party.
College party.
This idea, it could possibly cater to all age groups, but I think I'd like to have your guys' input on this. But the idea is really simple. It's it's like a trivia game sort of thing where you pull a card and the card will have a situation on it. And there's only like 4 types of answers to any of these situations.
Give an example of a situation.
Okay. You are forced to pay money to a group of individuals.
Why am I being forced to pay money to a group of individuals?
It's the cards.
Daryl is not going to have fun with this game.
This is part of your answer, Daryl.
And if you refuse to pay money to them, bad things will happen to you.
Okay.
Are they?
Sounds like a government.
The mafia, both, or neither?
Okay, so this is a multiple choice question. So there's an answer.
The answer is B.
It could be C, both.
I'm sorry, I thought that was. All right, yes, the answer is both.
Exactly.
Answer could be both.
So all of these cards that have situations on them, it's the answers are: is it the mafia, the government, both, or neither? And that's the game.
That's all of the cards, the entire. I don't know if this is going to be flying off the shelves, Parker.
Okay, well, here's my other idea. So we're all familiar with the game Monopoly by Parker Brothers, right?
Sure, classic game. Takes way too long to play it, but
slight twist on the game. Call it Government Monopoly.
Oh, it must have been done already.
Okay, well,
There's like a zillion different Monopoly board
No,
takeoff.
I don't think this one has been done. Yeah, you got Star Wars and you got SpongeBob Monopoly.
I don't mean that Monopoly manufactures it. There's all kinds of like city monopolies where like they're not actually officially licensed by Parker Brothers, but they basically use the same kind of board setup. And
isn't there like a gulagopoly to where everything is go to jail except for jail?
There's probably something like that.
I don't know about that, but the idea for government monopoly would be that you have all these different services which have been monopolized by the government. We could have a debate on which would be the highest properties, like Boardwalk and Park Place, which are the lowest properties, so on and so forth. And then once all of that is established, the players would be trying to get monopolies on certain services. So, for instance, the police, local, state.
But see, here's the twist: because it's government monopoly, they can't actually wind up buying any of the services to get the monopoly, and they just wind up going to jail for not paying the fee.
Yes, I was thinking that would be part of. I don't know how the game mechanics would work on that. We'd have to.
So whoever's the banker winds up winning because they're also connected with the government because the bank has, government license.
And here's the thing. Here's the twist. Whoever plays the banker has to wear a lizard mask.
Now you're just getting silly.
So there's already the game Plutocracy, which has a bit of a different setup for their board. There's somebody's made a board game called Government Boondoggle, which Forbes.com says has beaten Monopoly as the best new board game for 2017. So there's a lot of like government-esque games out there. I'm not saying you shouldn't follow your dreams here, Parker. I don't want to shoot them down or anything like that.
I think a better idea would be to just come up with another sort of parody expansion pack to Cards Against Humanity.
Those are great games.
That would be good.
Yeah, well, there's, of course, already the Libertarians Against Humanity expansion pack for that game.
There's like 4 of those that are put out under the title Libertarians Against Humanity. There's also Cards Against Duopoly, Citizens Against Hypocrisy. I've got like 3 or 4 expansion packs that were put out by various people, and I just play with those because I don't have any of the regulars.
You know what I would like to see, because I'm a huge fan of city builders. Growing up,
City Builders,
SimCity.
Oh, okay.
My favorite all-time favorite is the Caesar series, which is your ancient Rome, and you're building up the different countries.
You died of dysentery.
And the aqueducts and so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, but every single one of these are based on our current views on how to build, and that is taxation. And the rich pay more than the weak, the lower on the economic side. And you can't build anything without having, this structure. I would really like to play City Builder, which was more of a utopian side, where it's, more of a voluntarious utopian platform where, you don't necessarily have to have a fire station. What happens if you don't pay for it and then your house burns down?
Well, I think that would only work if you had if it was sort of like an online game where you had a whole bunch of people across the entire world who were playing, and they were playing they would, whoever is hosting the game would have to choose a specific location and the geographic features of it, and then from there everyone would be adding to the game, as it were.
I think this would be a great idea to just prove that it's possible. I think that there's developers out there who could put together right now the big game is Skylines.
Never heard of it.
And it's based on this old practice, but if someone could took the same idea and change the rules, I think this could be a good proof.
Thanks, Parker, for the call tonight. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. It's Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open your Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. Blinkprotect.com/FTL to save 15%.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial on in here, toll free, take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got Skype. You can Skype in just like Parker did there and sound way better than you would if you were on the phone. Skype username is LRN.FM, or call us on the Discord on-air call-in line room over at discord.lrn.fm. Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. If you want the newest and freshest perspectives and stories on current events from those who value liberty, then freedomsphoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. Freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. That's freedomsphoenix.com. As we go back to the phones, we got John. He's in Sarsaparilla, New Mexico.
Sarsaparilla?
Hello, John. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, you're on the air.
While I was waiting, I did a really cool magic trick.
Okay, well, we can't see magic on the radio, so what were you calling about
I know,
tonight?
but I can describe it to you.
All right. Let's hear it.
Why are you laughing?
Because it's funny. It's already funny. I just want to hear it get better. Let's go.
I came right to the center of my belly button.
All right. Well, that's pretty dirty. I'm going to let you go. Thanks for the call tonight.
I'm also not wearing pants.
Toll-free number 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. Now, of course, you can bring up whatever you want, but if it's uninteresting, you're not going to last very long.
Yeah.
So, let's go to down south, back to Venezuela, where on Sunday they had a sham election, what a lot of people are describing as a total farce. Just BS. Many people decided they were just going to stay home entirely rather than justify this in any way, validate it by giving it their participation. And
it sounds like elections here in this state, in this country.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was basically at like a sort of a municipal level as far as the turnout is concerned, because a lot of people in the United States don't bother voting in their municipal elections, frequently with 10% or less turnout in the U.S.
Now, here's something that's interesting. So I just went to the Wiki article, and they show the official turnout, according to the Maduro government, 46%.
Okay.
The estimates from all of the independent sources that were in Venezuela, they estimate that the turnout was actually between 17 to 25%. How do you wind up with such vastly different numbers?
I don't know, but I saw some of the photos, and I mean, obviously, photos can be taken in a way that skews things, right? But the photos were taken to make it look like nobody was there. There was like no lines outside, nothing to be seen.
But the state media photos were taken in such a way as to where they zoomed in real tight to make it look like they were packed and crowded.
I hadn't seen any of those. So, according to the Miami Herald, here's what the outcome, obviously Maduro won, but what has the international community done in response? According to the story here, Jim Weiss and Franco Ordonez reporting that they have leveled a barrage of criticism at Venezuela as of Monday, as the White House rolled out new sanctions and more than a dozen countries rejected Sunday's sham elections that handed President Nicolas Maduro a new 6-year term. On Monday, President Donald Trump, by the way, his last 6 years have been the absolute decline of the Venezuelan everything. It's just been an absolute disaster.
He didn't serve a full 6.
Okay.
He wound up calling for what's referred to as a snap election so that he held the election early.
Right, because he came in 2013 after what's his name died.
Yeah.
Hugo Chavez.
Oh, this guy's a union thug. I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah, he's a former bus driver.
Yeah.
He was the vice president when Chavez was the president there. And the whole country has basically been run into the S-hole. So going on here, Donald Trump signed an order prohibiting U.S. citizens or people in the United States from purchasing Venezuelan debt or accepting an equity stake in property that is majority owned by the Venezuelan government. Now, would the prohibition on purchasing Venezuelan debt mean you can't buy the bolivar?
No, I think what they mean by debt is when
bonds, and
like
things
a
like that?
line of credit, things of that sort.
Because technically, like the U.S. dollar, for instance, is evidence of debt. So those are debt.
That's
notes.
a claim.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, that's what a note is. A note is an evidence of debt, and the whole U.S. government's money system is built on...
That is a definition of the word note.
And the U.S. money system is built on debt because it used to be built on silver certificates where you could actually exchange certificates for something of actual value, but then they got rid of that.
Well, it used to be built on government didn't dictate what money was, and then the tyrant Lincoln was the one that had the Treasury issue currency.
Right.
And I don't know why a lot of libertarians are fascinated with, we need to just have the Treasury issue currency again. No.
Wait, who says that?
A bunch of people that think that G. Edward Griffin is the second coming of Mises.
G. Edward Griffin is the guy who wrote Creature from Jekyll Island.
Right,
which
and
is
the
about
historical facts about the creation of the Federal Reserve, he's spot on. But the solutions that he advocates in that book are in no way libertarian.
Right. The only libertarian solution would be to get the government out of money entirely and allow the market to come up with solutions.
Yes.
So, back to the story here. So, you're not allowed in the United States to purchase Venezuelan debt or accept an equity stake in property that's majority owned by the Venezuelan government. That last provision seems to be aimed at Citgo, the U.S. oil company that is majority owned by Venezuela's state-run petroleum company, PDVSA. Senior administration officials said the goal of the executive order was to prevent corrupt Venezuelan officials from lining their own pockets by selling Venezuelan debt as collateral for cash, debt that the nation's people would be saddled with in the future. Now get this, here's a great quote from some government bureaucrat in D.C. On a condition of anonymity, this government bureaucrat told reporters, quote, "The region has never seen a kleptocracy like this. We've never seen a country as wealthy in terms of natural resources and in human capital as Venezuela is, driven into such an economic death spiral so quickly by such a small group of individuals determined to enrich themselves at the expense of millions of people." Now, if he didn't just describe exactly what every government everywhere is, then I don't know what that is. But that was a really excellent description of what government is. Now, is Venezuela the most extreme example of this? Because that's what he's suggesting.
Right. So, when you look at the scale of tyrannies and indebtedness and what was the term, kleptocracy.
Yep.
Venezuela is definitely further on the, that's effed up end of the spectrum, whereas the U.S., $21 trillion in debt.
Right.
You've got this group in D.C. that for, somehow these people wind up, barely making $10,000 or whatever it is. Like they're all supposedly, just regular people that get elected to Congress. And then when they retire, they're multimillionaires.
Exactly. So, I mean, the suggestion here seems to be that only the people in Venezuela are the individuals determined to enrich themselves at the expense of millions of people, which, of course, is exactly what they all do.
Yeah, this is happening everywhere. It's just these guys are at the end of the road. This is what happens at the end of the road. It's finally happened. Venezuela is top side up. It's floating.
It's amazing that they have not run this man out on rails with torches, pitchforks, tarring, feathering, all of that.
They can't afford pitchforks and torches.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. More about there's 14 nations that are also going to be trying to punish Venezuela, and we'll tell you about that coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll free, take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. The Blink home security system is a shockingly affordable wireless home security system. Also, I think it would work well for a small office. You can go to blinkprotect.com/FTL and get one of yours there for 15% off. They're already very affordable price. It's nice because they're wireless, meaning you don't have to waste any time with the setup. I mean, the setup literally just takes moments. It's you unbox it, put the batteries in, put the cameras wherever you want them around your house, and if they're not in the right place, you can easily move them because they're wireless, and you don't have to worry about running wires through walls and drilling holes and all that difficult setup. It's super easy. All you need is a Wi-Fi enabled device like a tablet or your smartphone, and you get them set up, and then you configure them whenever you want them to run, and then if they see something happening, they will send you a clip over the internet to your device, and you can see what's going on in your house or, again, your small office. I think that would work well, too. Blinkprotect.com/FTL. Like Free Talk Live as we continue here. More on the Venezuelan government and their election that happened on Sunday. Some of the countries in the world, of course, the United States coming out, Donald Trump prohibiting U.S. citizens from purchasing Venezuelan debt. They're talking about more sanctions, and 14 nations in the world, part of the so-called Lima Group, and I'll tell you which ones here in a moment, said they'll be limiting diplomatic ties with Venezuela as a result of this election and would study blocking all future loans to the nation. The rebukes come less than 24 hours after Maduro won a new term, which will run from 2019 to 2025 in a controversial election that his rivals and critics say was marred by fraud. In the statement released by the Lima Group, they said its members did not recognize the legitimacy of the vote, and they had agreed to, quote, reduce the level of diplomatic relations with Venezuela, unquote, and were recalling their ambassadors for consultation. The Lima Group is comprised of Argentina, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Guyana, Honduras, Mexico, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, and St. Lucia. So several nations saying they are not disconnecting entirely, but they're going to be doing some level of diplomatic punishment towards the nation.
And I want to point out that diplomatic punishment, if you will, of, hey, we're removing our ambassadors from your country, is completely different from we're imposing economic sanctions.
Right.
Economic sanctions are not going to hurt the Venezuelan government.
Correct.
They're going to hurt the average man, woman, and child in Venezuela.
Daryl, have there been any other sanctions in the last couple of years that have been imposed on the Venezuelans?
There have been a bunch of sanctions over the last couple of years imposed against Venezuelans.
That are currently enacted.
Yes.
Like what?
I don't recall off the top of my head, but I know that I've read about several, and a lot of them are named against specific individuals. Sometimes it's things like what Ian mentioned, where it's targeting Citgo, of you can't purchase oil from any company in Venezuela. Not that the Venezuelan companies would actually be able to ship the oil out. Because
I don't think there's any other companies besides PDVSA in Venezuela. Are there other oil
I don't know if
companies
there are, but they can't get their ships inspected to even get them out of port.
Last we heard, and that was a couple of years ago.
I think the way I'm looking at this is not a punishing them. This is not about punishing them because they had a sham election.
Well, that's the excuse the Lima Group.
That's what they're using. Yes, this is about.
That's
this is
the
about,
reason
this is
for
about
the
oil.
most recent round of sanctions.
What do you mean it's about oil?
It's about oil, and it's about Citgo, and it's about not letting private investors actually go in there and purchase this material. It's
but that's nothing new. PDVSA has been around for decades. That's the Venezuelan government company.
Mm-hmm. But this is preventing private individuals like Citgo, as private as they could be,
They're majority owned by PDVSA,
from going in there and purchasing oil. What if I wanted to buy some Venezuelan debt?
You are prohibited from doing so.
I know, right?
Sir.
So here I see a failing company down the street, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I could buy that for pennies on the dollar, and invest in that company. Maybe bring it back. But in this case, that can't happen now.
Okay, so according to, and this is what I thought, just wanted to confirm, PDVSA, which is the Venezuelan Petroleum Corporation, basically, took over back in 1976 when the entire oil industry was nationalized. So there are likely no competitors in Venezuela. That is it.
Right.
And I think Mexico also has a state-run oil distribution.
Sounds right.
As well. So if you want to join us here, you can. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. In addition to the immediate announcements, Lima Group didn't announce sanctions, but they did say they would lobby international lenders to not offer loans to Venezuela. That did not have prior approval from the opposition-held National Assembly. And by the way, if you are considering making a loan to Venezuela, you are insane. Because, I mean, this is like giving money to the worst crack addict loser in town that there's no chance they're going to pay it back.
Yeah,
I'd say that it's a worse decision because at least when you give money to the crack addict, you know what he's going to do with it. When you give money to the Venezuelan central government, you aren't really sure what they're going to do. Maybe they'll, wind up enslaving some Venezuelans. Maybe they'll wind up, buying a big yacht.
Either way, you should know that you're not going to get it back. While the Lima Group didn't, it could be a serious blow for the cash-strapped nation that needs external funding to import food and medicine. Maduro and his allies have sidelined the National Assembly, which was elected in 2015, and have allowed a new super body, the National Constituent Assembly, to usurp most of its functions. This was the illegally created, unconstitutional, other sort of parliament, basically.
Let's vote to amend the Constitution and create this thing, and nobody that opposes me is allowed to run for a seat on the thing.
In addition, the Lima Group said it would intensify and broaden the exchange of financial information to identify Venezuelan companies and individuals, quote, who could be involved in acts of corruption, money laundering, and other illicit activity, unquote. These actions are likely just the first wave of more sanctions, said Francisco Mabaldi with the Baker Institute, a nonpartisan public policy think tank at Rice University. He said further, quote, I expect that in the next few days and weeks we'll continue seeing the number of countries that have not recognized these elections in the Western Hemisphere and Europe tightening sanctions and making it harder for the Venezuelan government to keep behaving the way they've been behaving. He told a conference in D.C. The Trump administration has already slapped more than 60 former and current officials with sanctions and prohibited U.S. companies from dealing in Venezuelan debt. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo slammed the Maduro government for stacking the courts with biased judges, banning opposition candidates, and offering food to starving Venezuelans in exchange for political support. I gotta say, I had not heard that particular headline, but it doesn't surprise me. In a statement, he called the election, quote, an attack on constitutional order, and said the U.S. would bring swift economic and diplomatic actions to support democracy in Venezuela.
Yeah.
Some believe that harsher measures against Venezuela's oil industry are yet to come. Venezuela's government's defending the election where Maduro beat his rival Henri Falcón, the former governor of the Lara state, 68% to 21%. Evangelical pastor Javier Bertucci won just 11%. An opposition boycott dampened the race, and just 46%, according to the state, of registered voters cast ballots. The lowest level, even according to the state, in 2 decades.
Right. And one thing not mentioned in that article is that all of the serious challengers were prohibited from running in the election. They were either incarcerated or just, given one of these sentences of, you are not allowed to run for political office.
However, Venezuela isn't completely isolated. Cuba, Iran, Russia, Bolivia, El Salvador, and other countries have congratulated Maduro on his victory. But his political win will do little to help resolve the country's pressing problems. Venezuela is being hammered by 5-digit inflation. Now let's check the Dollar Today numbers, see if they've changed since, 5 days ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Power and water outages, sporadic food and water shortages. The collapse has led more than 1.5 million people to flee the nation in recent years, many to Colombia, Brazil, Peru, and Chile, which are part of the Lima Group. What's the number? Do you have it?
855,000.
Yeah, it was 750,000 5 days ago. That's 750 or 850,000 bolivar to $1 in the black market. More coming up.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Stocks and options trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Fire your stockbroker and hire yourself. I'm Scott Bauer, and I've been a professional trader for over 25 years. I've traded for Goldman Sachs and was the first Amazon market maker at the Chicago Board Options Exchange. I'm also the CEO here at Prosper Trading Academy, the leading educational firm teaching people how to trade the markets. For a limited time, I'm giving away one of my favorite secret trading techniques used by thousands of our students every day to help build their financial future. To learn this technique right now, call my 24/7 voicemail and just leave your email address. I'll email you my free trading technique right away. Just call 1-800-228-2155. This is the very information my students use every day to invest in their financial future. Again, call 1-800-228-2155 in the next 30 minutes and leave your email address on my voicemail. That's 1-800-228-2155. Call 1-800-228-2155.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up, some controversy surrounding Amazon.com and some of their new policies, what they've been working with the government on, some creepy stuff. We'll share that with you. Of course, you can bring up whatever you want as well. Joining you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
And don't forget, you can join us online over at freetalklive.com. We got a lot of features on our site. One of them is our webcam. You can actually watch us anytime we're live, or later on, you can watch archives of our live shows. Twitch.lrn.fm is the highest quality version of the show. You can also go to our YouTube channel. There's a Free Talk Live YouTube channel as well. But twitch.lrn.fm. During the show, that's a great place to watch us live. It's HD quality, 720p resolution. Sounds great. Looks good. There's a Twitch chat room there. Although most people chat in our Discord chat, and there's a link to that there that you can find. So if you want to watch us for whatever reason, you can go to twitch.lrn.fm. And be sure that you hit the follow option so you can be following us on Twitch. We got over 300 followers, which I really appreciate. And then there's also, I think, about 20 subscribers right now, which is down from like 40-something because every month the people who have subscribed with their Amazon Prime subscription, because you get one free Twitch subscription every month, it drops off after the month's over or whatever, when your month ends. And if you don't remember to go and do it again, then Amazon keeps that money. So Amazon, collects whatever amount they collect from you for your Prime subscription. And then you can either subscribe to us at Twitch, and we get like $2.50 worth of that, or Amazon keeps the $2.50.
Don't do it. Don't let big old Amazon get the money.
Yeah, so it's up to you. So go to twitch.lrn.fm, and there's instructions there. If you just scroll down below the video, you can find how to do all of that. So we're talking about the Venezuelan government and the sanctions and further, I guess, diplomatic finger-wagging that's going on by about 14 nations. Other countries around the world, though, are saying they are recognizing the elections as legitimate and congratulating Maduro on his win. The Maduro government claiming that 46% of the voters turned out. Independent observers claiming it was more like 17 to 20 or the low 20s percent of voters. And indeed, there was a lot of people who were protesting. According to a story at the Washington Post, the opposition is now scrambling to regroup after Maduro's win. Reporting in Caracas for the AP, Venezuela's fractured opposition emerged even more powerless on Monday, a day after an election that it boycotted propelled socialist President Nicolas Maduro to an easy victory amid a crushing economic crisis. The coalition's strategy to sit out the vote succeeded at exposing declining support for the government. Yet it also leaves Maduro's opponents even more dependent on international pressure seeking to force change in the South American oil-exporting nation where people struggle to find food and are migrating in mass.
Right. So this is one of the things that we talked about on Sunday, was this boycott of the vote.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark was taking the position that, well, people should have just gone and got a ballot and, like, marked anybody but Maduro.
Mm-hmm.
And then, force them to stuff the ballots or whatever.
Which they would do.
And then, there's the question of, what would you do? So if you were in an election, or, not you were in the election, but you were in a place that had an election and you did not have the option of writing someone in, and you had the option of vote for tyrant or vote for somebody that's not tyrant that you don't support.
Well, again, I mean, are we asking what I would do if I was in Venezuela, or what I would do in a fantasy situation that you just constructed?
Well, that's basically the situation that happened in Venezuela on Sunday.
But if I were in Venezuela, I'd want to get the hell out of Venezuela, right? I wouldn't want to stick around to see what the results of this vote are, because I'd be hungry.
Let's say you live in California, where they have this horrible top two system.
I'd leave, man. I'd go to New Hampshire.
Would have left a decade ago.
I left Florida a decade ago,
I know, right?
In fact.
Okay.
There's no good options here. That's what you're saying.
So what is a scenario, and I hate hypotheticals as much as the next person, but there are actual people living in this situation. So do you boycott the vote?
I agree with you. It's tough. It's a tough decision. Do you boycott the vote, or do you go along with the sham election? That's their choice, right?
Right.
Or are the election results that we are being handed even real, even true?
There's no evidence for it. You can't prove it.
I mean, it's the same thing with the last Russian election. I mean, they tell us that Putin is this bad guy, and that he was stuffing the election box, and then no one went out. There was only one option. Well, there were two options. But I mean,
Putin or die.
No, there were other candidates. There were other candidates.
But I mean, we are only being fed what they're giving us, and is it even real?
Well,
yes, Venezuela actually exists.
Yes,
Conan,
I know it's
and
real,
the Earth
and
is
I know
not flat.
Yes, I know.
Well, Venezuela doesn't exist.
How did you even go there? Yes, I know they're in debt. I know they're having problems. I know that the oil company there's only one in the country. But
so,
I mean,
what do you do? Well, I don't think there's an easy answer. I mean, because here in the United States, at least here in New Hampshire, I mean, I can't speak for the other states, but you can go and observe the vote counting. Right? So if you wanted to, Daryl, you could go down the city of Keene, down to the voting locations with 4 other volunteers, and you could stand there and watch them count the ballots. Right?
Keene's not a good example because Keene uses those Scantron machines.
Right.
Where they push the button, although they do say, here's the date that we test the machine, and you could go observe the test of the machine.
But they could change something between now and the election or something like that.
In theory, and then, there are ways that somebody can petition for an audit of the results. If we lived in one of the neighboring towns, then we could go watch the hand count. I've been to, as an official observer, a recount where you watch the people pull the ballots out and they hand count. This is a vote for this person.
Not
this is a vote
in
for
Keene,
this
right?
person.
Somewhere else?
I was not an official observer in Keene, although there was a recount for city council last year that I went, and I watched that. But the one where I was an official observer was a state rep race in a special election where there was a libertarian.
Well, this is kind of a debate that libertarians, some of the people in the liberty movement, have had for a long time. Some are very, very anti-voting.
Yes.
Others are very much in favor of working within the system and voting. And the people who are in favor of working within the system, and I work within the system, right? Like I've run for political office. I've gone and voted in many elections. And those people presume that the voting system is legitimate. They presume that the votes are counted fairly. They presume that the votes are reported fairly. And there are some
presume that it's fair the way it's determined who's even allowed on the ballot. And that's the biggest injustice in this country.
No. I think most libertarians would agree that's not fair. I'm saying that
I thought you meant the average person. I'm sorry.
No. Libertarians who debate about these things, right?
Yes.
There's the libertarians who say, I'm not participating at all because the whole system is it's a scam.
Right.
And I don't want to give it my endorsement by voting. And then there's those who say, well, but we got to work within the system because we have to change the system. So how do you do that without voting for these candidates? those people are presuming that the voting system is legitimate. Now, of course, we've seen stories from these electronic voting machines that show that they can be hacked, that show that there's been, back doors and all kinds of questionable manipulation possibilities with that. Thankfully, we don't have those machines in New Hampshire, and so there are kind of these potential ways that you can check the system here.
Right.
And, that doesn't mean there aren't ways that the system can be manipulated, but it's harder here probably for them to do it than it is in Venezuela.
Slightly, but again, they wind up manipulating the vote by preventing alternatives from getting on the ballot.
No, that's true. But here in New Hampshire, at least, for 2018's election, the Libertarians are going to be on the ballot. So somebody, if they were going to manipulate the vote, they could have manipulated the Libertarians to stay off the ballot, and they didn't do that because the gubernatorial candidate got more than 4%.
But still, just because the Libertarians are on the ballot doesn't mean that we have, fair ballot access.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I didn't say you were. I'm just pointing out
no third party has fair ballot access in pretty much any United States.
Vermont and Mississippi are the closest.
Yeah? Okay.
As long as you are organized,
for the most part,
you get on the ballot.
In most states, if you're a third party, you're screwed and you don't have a chance from the word go. So that's a frustration, and that's a difficulty, and that's what they're trying to fight here, because you've got the opposition party, their candidate, who's like, come on out, vote for me. But many of the people in the opposition party, in Venezuela is what I'm talking about here, they're saying, no, we're not going to come out and vote for you. Like, we like you, buddy, but we're not going to go vote because this whole system's a sham and we don't believe our votes are going to be counted. So,
and it's not just one opposition party. It's a fractured opposition against Maduro.
There's more on the way here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Amazon doing some creepy stuff with the government, and new policy going into effect. Conan, I don't know if you're upset or happy about it. We're gonna get into it coming up here on Free Talk Live. Hour 2 is next.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.47 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,294 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $37, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,876. Antiwar.com reports at least 55 people were killed and scores of others wounded in a series of Taliban attacks across Afghanistan, starting with a double suicide bombing on Monday morning in the capital city of Kabul. The strikes hit near NATO headquarters. 25 were killed and 45 wounded in Kabul. In the neighboring Ghazni province, the Taliban carried out attacks on police forces, killing at least 14 police, including a district commander, and wounding 12 others. They stormed several checkpoints. Further south in Kandahar, security forces found a van packed with explosives. They failed to defuse it, and the ensuing explosion killed at least 16 people and wounded 38 others. Officials say they also recovered weapons and suicide vests in the same area and believe the militants were planning a big attack against shoppers near the end of Ramadan. The Taliban's attacks are on the increase because of the spring offensive. They are believed to have been responsible for the Kabul and Ghazni attacks. Though there has yet to be any claim of responsibility for the Kandahar deaths, that city is the Taliban's homeland.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the American Civil Liberties Union demanded Amazon stop marketing facial recognition technology to government agencies, citing possible civil rights violations. The ACLU Foundations of California released emails Tuesday between Amazon and law enforcement agencies in Orlando, Florida, and the Washington County Sheriff's Office in Oregon regarding the facial recognition technology called Rekognition, which is powered by artificial intelligence. The team of 3 ACLU affiliates in California said in a release of the 147 pages of documents, which includes the emails, reveals how Amazon and its subsidiary, Amazon Web Services, marketed the facial recognition technology to law enforcement agencies. The document release capped a 6-month investigation into how Amazon has helped agencies deploy the technology. The ACLU Foundations of California said it objects to Amazon's marketing of Rekognition to these agencies based on privacy concerns and the potential for discriminatory abuse. It sent a letter Tuesday to Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos demanding his company stop marketing the product to government agencies. Tuesday's letter to Bezos said people should be free to walk down the street without being watched by the government. Facial recognition in American communities threatens this freedom. In over-policed communities of color, it could effectively eliminate it. A spokesperson for Amazon Web Services defended the company in a statement to The Hill. The spokesperson said, Amazon requires that customers comply with the law and be responsible for when they use AWS services. When we find that AWS services are being abused by a customer, we suspend that customer's rights to use our services. The spokesperson added, our quality of life would be much worse today if we outlawed new technology because some people could choose to abuse the technology. Imagine if customers couldn't buy a computer because it was possible to use the computer for illegal purposes. Tuesday's letter, also signed by other ACLU chapters and several other activist organizations that focus on defending constitutional rights, civil rights, and human rights, such as the Center for Media Justice, Color of Change, and Human Rights Watch. Malkia Cyrell, executive director of the Center for Media Justice, said in the release, we already know that facial recognition algorithms discriminate against black faces and are being used to violate human rights of immigrants.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.
Reuters reports pirate attacks around South American and Caribbean waters are growing and violence is increasingly used during robberies committed on vessels at anchor, according to a report released on Wednesday. The Oceans Beyond Piracy nonprofit group recorded 71 incidents in Latin America and the Caribbean in 2017, an increase of 163% from 2016. They said the majority of attacks occurred in territorial waters, with around 59% of the incidents involving robbery on yachts. Venezuela, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Colombia, and St. Lucia were the regional hotspots during 2017. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
California
California is reeling from Super Rainbow Percival, which left a trail of devastation along the west coast. A luminous band of destruction touched down in Santa Barbara. Percival set a record as the most powerful rainbow in U.S. history, with at least 30 confirmed fatalities and damage estimates in the billions. The vividly saturated colors seared through homes and roads, charring everything in its path. Those exposed to the rainbow's fury say they're lucky to be alive.
The sky was completely blue. All of a sudden, it's filled with brilliant hues of red and indigo.
All I can say is when I was a kid, rainbows didn't cut people in half.
Meteorologists say that Percival is just the latest in a pattern of increasingly dangerous rainbows, and that they're only growing stronger as global temperatures rise. Percival also comes on the heels of some extreme weather phenomena overseas. Authorities in the Philippines are still searching for thousands in the aftermath of mega sunset Wilma.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. As always, you're invited to join us here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Coming up, Daryl will be telling us about Amazon and a creepy facial recognition program they're pushing apparently onto the government. The federal government, I presume. We will get into that. Also, another Amazon-related story, and again, possibly some bad news, maybe good news, depending on your perspective. Conan's going to share that with us. But we're talking about the latest out of Venezuela, having kind of wrapped up the election that happened Sunday. This is actually our first chance we've had a chance to discuss it in detail. The state government there in Venezuela claiming that there were about 46% of the registered voters who turned out, whereas independent observers were saying it might have been as low as 17 to 25% of the registered voters. Where is the truth? Well, probably somewhere in between. I would guess closer to what the independent voters or the independent observers were having to say about it.
Yeah, when you asked the question of where's the real answer, it reminded me, remember the old Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop commercial?
How many licks does it take to get to the center of it?
Wise Mr. Owl, and then he takes 3 licks and then just bites into it. 3! The world may never know. Yeah, the world may never know how many people actually showed up to vote for president in Venezuela.
Nor does it really matter. Right? Whether it was 25%, 30%, 40%, 70%, does it really matter? Does a bunch of people turning out and voting for a madman make him legitimate?
He's legitimately a madman.
Right, but like as far as other people in the world recognizing the vote, would the government of these 14 countries that are the part of the Lima group who are protesting the election and severing some diplomatic ties, would they just decide that it was fine if 70% had turned out to vote?
Possibly. I wasn't involved in their decision.
Well, right, because they're saying it's a sham.
Yeah, at what percentage of the turnout would they have been okay with this?
Is it still a sham if it's 70%?
Yeah, I would say
yes,
it's a sham.
It's absolutely a sham because, what is the accountability here? How do you prove that any of this is true?
And that's why I said initially that I don't believe these sanctions have anything to do with a punishment for not having democratic elections. I think it has something. It goes far deeper. It has to do with material wealth. It has to do with oil. And these surrounding countries and the U.S. Want to be in charge of it. They want to control it.
Even before the government controlled, this is from the AP, National Election Council declared Maduro the overwhelming winner. Nations around the world had accused him of taking Venezuela down the path towards dictatorship. The election registered the lowest turnout in decades. This is according to the state's own numbers, around 46%, as many voters stayed home, while the opposition warned that the election was rigged. It's an outcome likely to further weaken Maduro's legitimacy in the eyes of many, though not necessarily his grip on power. There's been no sign of wavering support from the leadership of Venezuela's military, which long was the arbiter of Venezuela's political disputes, and Venezuelans busy trying to survive amid widespread food shortages and hyperinflation seem too demoralized to engage in protests like the ones that happened last year, resulting in more than 140 deaths. Those went on for weeks back, and it was about a year ago when those were happening. And now I imagine people are just so exhausted.
Wasn't there some kind of petition to recall Maduro? And because
there was.
Whatever government agency wound up dragging their feet, Maduro's like, oh, you know what? We're just going to vote early, and then we don't have to worry about this recall thing.
That's what happened. It was his agency. He was the one who made the call on that.
Yeah.
Opponents of the socialist revolution installed by late President Hugo Chavez have few options, said Georgia State University political scientist Jennifer McCoy, who led 5 electoral missions to Venezuela on behalf of the Carter Center until 2013. She said, quote, the opposition for some time has been waiting for something to save them, unquote. In one minor protest Monday, 30 opposition activists marched onto a major highway that a year ago was filled with tens of thousands of anti-government protesters. They unfurled a giant Venezuelan flag, shouting, "This was a farce, not an election." They then rolled up the flag and dispersed. It lasted 10 minutes. So why are they getting 30 activists this year, whereas last year they had tens of thousands of them?
I think those activists left.
Is it because they left, or is it because they're just so hungry and so busy trying to survive that they don't have time?
They literally don't have the energy to go outside.
Right. I mean, it's got to be exhausting. Only getting a fraction of the necessary calories and food that you need to have, basically, to avoid losing weight constantly. We've seen them, news reports showing the average adult in Venezuela has lost, in 1 year, I think it was 17 pounds, and then the following year it was like 24 pounds.
Yeah.
And that was over the last couple of years.
And I was watching the Ninja versus Ninja World All-Star thing a couple of months ago.
This is like the American Gladiators kind of looking show that you watch.
You keep comparing it to American Gladiators,
looks like it.
but it's not.
Except it doesn't have gladiators.
Right. The competitions aren't anywhere similar at all.
How is this like Ninja Warrior?
Ninja Warrior is the name of the show.
But it's American.
You said Ninja versus Ninja, didn't you?
You said something else.
No, the American Ninja Warrior.
Okay.
It was the World All-Star Challenge. So they had teams from around the world. And one of the guys representing Latin America, they mentioned, was from Venezuela but moved to Mexico City because he could not get the nutrition he needed to train properly.
Wow. I bet that's true.
They didn't explain any of the problems that are happening in Venezuela.
They don't have time for that. Yeah.
He couldn't get the nutrition he needed, so he moved to Mexico City.
Well, I think it's a combination, Ian, of not getting the calories, the daily calorie intake, but it's also has to do with, I think a lot of these people left. The ones who were the true activists, the one who wanted change, and they realized it just couldn't be, and then probably another third. They're just beat. They're just beat down, and they've lost faith. They've lost faith in the system, and it's going to basically lie down like dogs and die.
McCoy,
and I don't know if I would necessarily agree that a lot of them left because, and we've heard from libertarians across the country of, well, I can't leave where I am. We're so close to, winning here. There were the Republicans that called in from California that they don't support splitting California into 3 states because we've got this guy running for governor that we know he's going to wind up winning, and the Republicans are just going to sweep everything.
Yeah, Daryl, you could still go to the grocery store in California and buy toilet paper. You can't do that in Venezuela. It's a whole different. We can't. The three of us, I don't think we can wrap our head around what they're dealing with right now.
It's got to be horrifying.
That's the bottom of the bucket, the bottom of the barrel.
There are always going to be people that say,
about the delusional
if
people.
I leave, then that's admitting defeat.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with regrouping.
Nobody likes a quitter, and I can't quit. I've just got to, dig my heels in.
It's moving your efforts somewhere else.
I mean, the three of us did just this.
Right,
we moved
left
away from what we thought was a bad situation to a better situation,
and it is better
and the option was available to us.
Right, but there are always people that see that as quitting.
I understand that, and they need to get a clue because. Yeah, you're quitting California. That's true. You're quitting California. But you don't have to quit the, fight for freedom or whatever you want to call it, right? You don't have to quit advocating for liberty. In fact, when you're in a battle, right? If you're in a series of battles, and I don't like this whole, concept of fighting. I just want to live free and be left alone.
Right.
But the state insists on fighting, and the state's not going to go away quietly. So if you keep losing, as libertarians tend to lose, we're talking about in the United States here, if you keep losing, and you have you're not gaining any abilities that year after year. You're not gaining any extra percentages. You're not getting any extra news. So you're losing consistently over and over again. There's nothing wrong with after you've lost a few, regrouping. Retreating so you can regroup.
Retreating and amassing your forces.
Right. Getting together with the remaining forces in one place to where you can actually defend whatever little freedom there is left in that one place and maybe have a chance to take it back. Some people still get burned out. Like our co-host Mark Edge, he is totally burned out. He believes that everything is pointless. He just wants to go move on to some island.
Well, he has been going through a midlife crisis for like the last decade.
5 years, yeah, at least. And his most recent thing was he wanted to move on to St. Kitts, and he just went down there for a seminar that was all about how to move to St. Kitts, and they told him, sorry, you're a felon. You can't even buy your way in. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. But that's, he is exemplary of this sort of frustrated person who, the state's frustrating. Yeah, they're not going to make it easy. Yeah, they're not going to go away quietly. But guess what? Wherever you move, there they are. More coming up.
From the sixth letter of Captain Mark. A pirate's life is characterized by voluntary interactions. Unfortunately, the Crown presses everyone into involuntary servitude. Landlubbers believe slavery was abolished years ago, but the Crown still claims to own us when it crimps us into service against our will. Given sufficient ambition, it would gladly draft thousands of hapless victims to kill or be killed. It's simply slavery by another name. Landlubbers are routinely commanded to serve the so-called justice system in jury duty. But before you swell with civic pride, consider that how you feel is irrelevant to the Crown. You will appear as ordered or face punitive measures. The Crown insists that you participate in your own oppression. A jury summons provides pirates with a unique opportunity to obstruct injustices. A juror can vote not guilty, even if it's proven the law was violated. A juror can acquit for any reason at all, and not even a judge can reverse that verdict. Receiving a jury summons is basically winning the sedition lottery. But if you reveal that you know this during jury selection, you'll probably be dismissed. If the Crown foolishly crimps a pirate into jury duty, it behooves the pirate to conceal their intention to nullify unjust laws. If a master takes 100% of your labor, it's called slavery. But if they only take 50%, they call it taxation, a difference of degree, not of kind. Whether the Crown claims a fortune or a cent is irrelevant. Most of all, a slave owner desires contented slaves, meaning thoughtless ones that accept their bondage. These house slaves see no contradiction in being drafted in a war to end slavery or summoned to a jury to prosecute tax evasion. An ideal slave knows no higher call than the master's will. The Crown's highest ambition is that its slaves revere the authority that subjugates them. But the Crown does not own me. I will not surrender my time and treasure to the Crown's ambitions. Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Never, ever send a follow-up email asking, "Did you get my email?" Email 101. If it didn't bounce back undeliverable, it got where you sent it. And avoid transmedia pestering, like calling to ask, "Did you get my email?" or emailing to say, "I left you a voicemail." If your emails and voicemails aren't being acknowledged, your problem isn't technology, it's technique. Is your message concise and understandable? Have you boiled it down to seem as relevant as possible to the recipient? In other words, is it the opposite of spam or junk mail? All of this really matters if you're a job seeker. But even if you're not, with money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free here. Take control of the airwaves. Bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype. You can Skype in. It's Skype username LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
Bitcoin.com brings you Free Talk Live. You can go to Bitcoin.com to learn more about cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, of course, is what started it all back in 2009. And so why not go to Bitcoin.com to learn the basics? Also, you can get the latest news headlines from Bitcoin.com. Just go to news.bitcoin.com. They've got fresh headlines there every single day from across the globe about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That's news.bitcoin.com. Maybe you want to get into Bitcoin mining, but you don't have the technical chops. Well, they can handle all that for you over at pool.bitcoin.com. That's their Bitcoin mining pool. That's pool.bitcoin.com. All right, I don't know if there's much more to say about Venezuela at the moment. It is a story that we're going to obviously continue to follow because it's one of the most instructive. It's one of the most outrageous. It is one of the shining, or I don't know if that's the right word, but
it's a present-day shining example of what socialism eventually leads to, and it will happen in this country.
Unless something can happen first, like, New Hampshire secedes from the United States.
I mean, the country as a whole, and I do believe that the states will break up in order to survive. And the bigger ones, the ones that are the most debt, the ones that are actually causing a lot of the problems, like California, are going to be the first to implode. And, of course, you're going to have an influx of people moving out of those places like they already are and coming and swamping the good safe places like maybe New Hampshire. We have this issue in New Hampshire. We have an influx of our biggest migrants to this state are from directly below us, socialist Massachusetts.
Yep, that's true.
And that's
one of the big objections when you talk to libertarians about moving to New Hampshire. A lot of the objections are, oh, well, you've already got too many liberals moving in from Massachusetts. I don't want to move to New Hampshire.
Or you've got the people. Well, at least in Colorado and Washington, we can smoke weed, and you guys still have roads.
Yeah, you know what? We can smoke weed here, too. Just not legally.
It's now semi-decriminalized, at least, so I wonder if that's going to affect the arrest rates or if it's going to affect the ticketing rates compared to arrest rates.
Drive. If you're in Keene, you can just drive over to Vermont pretty soon, or you just drive down to Massachusetts. It's right there.
It's probably still illegal to
20 miles.
drive while stoned.
Well, no. I'm not talking about getting high. I'm talking about going down and buying.
Oh, by the way, I saw a headline, but I'm sorry, I didn't see the headline, but Vincent told me that, who's a former sometime co-host of Free Talk Live, that the Massachusetts government is making it so difficult to open up the retail shops that they're not expected to actually start this summer, that it may be another year or something like that.
This is my surprised face.
Yeah. So, I mean, at that rate, maybe New Hampshire finally can legalize weed before these other states. I mean, technically, it's legal in Massachusetts and Maine and now Vermont.
Right.
But the legal sale of it, as far as storefronts are concerned, we're still waiting.
Right. And that's something that even though Vermont legalized, they did not wind up authorizing retail.
Correct.
So
meaning you can possess it.
You can possess it. You can grow it. You can gift a certain amount.
Correct.
That's because they haven't figured out how to tax it yet. The exact. and regulate.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Vermont for going the legislative route and actually being the first state to. Well, they had to, but being the first state to do it legislatively, they've set a first on that. And I'm glad they didn't wait to try to figure that out, Conan. I'm glad they just went ahead and said, you know what, we haven't figured out any kind of scheme, so we're just going to go ahead and pass the legalization. And there is a bit of a scheme to that.
They could figure out how to.
Yeah.
They just didn't because the governor would not have signed that. The governor had said he would not have signed anything, as I recall, he would not have signed anything that authorized retail. But he was okay with removing the penalties. And the reason the New Hampshire legislature, and it went through the House, but the reason it died in the Senate said, well, we created that committee last year to study legalizing, and they've not given us a report yet, so we want to wait until they give us a report before we vote to wind up doing anything.
According to Boston.com, just did a quick search here, exactly 600 days after Massachusetts voted to legalize recreational marijuana, the state's first pot shops will finally be allowed to open their doors, but will they? The July 1st starting date for marijuana sales isn't as cut and dry as some may think. That's a good pun. The residents shouldn't expect scores of recreational dispensaries to immediately throw open their doors on that particular day, a Sunday no less. Steve Hoffman, chairman of the state's marijuana regulator, says, quote, July signifies a starting point, not an end point, for the evolution and growth of this industry, unquote. With that starting point less than 2 months away, here's what to expect from the sprouting retail marijuana market in Massachusetts. July 1st marks the earliest possible day that licensed businesses can legally sell recreational marijuana to adults over 21. Under the voter-approved legalization ballot measure, states were originally slated to begin on January 1st, but lawmakers decided to push back the date 6 months to allow the state more time to work out the nuances of regulating the new industry.
You see, that's all about the revenue.
The July 1st date is tied to April 1st, which was when the Cannabis Control Commission could begin accepting and reviewing license applicants. The CCC has to make a decision on license applications within 90 days. Under the new rules, the commission first accepted applications only from already registered medical dispensaries and applicants under the law's Economic Empowerment Program. So they're giving first dibs on those who are sort of politically connected here, which is intended to promote opportunity in communities disproportionately harmed by marijuana prohibition and enforcement. The CCC then began incrementally accepting other categories of applicants in the following weeks. License applications for all retail stores open on June 1st. The commission reported, so again, if there's a 90-day window, if you're applying as just your average person who wants to open a shop, you're going to have to wait at least 3 months, so to the end of the summer, basically.
And if you're even approved.
Correct.
During those 3 months application time period.
The commission reportedly received nearly 200 applications on the first day, 77 from medical marijuana companies and 113 from economic empowerment applicants. That seems like a good number. So should they all be up and running in July? Not quite. Hoffman expects the market will be, quote, sparse on July 1st.
And my guess is, and I'm speculating, I've not seen this article, even after some of these people are approved, they then have to wind up getting permission from whatever municipality of,
City approval.
You're not zoned for that. Or some other, we just passed an ordinance that we're not zoning anybody for recreational sales.
Or they won't give them an operational permit or whatever it is that you need to open a business.
There are some places in Colorado where they just have, certain towns have passed things that...
Prohibition.
They're saying, we are not allowing this type of business in this town.
First, Hoffman added that there, quote, are going to be some people that are up and running that have all the municipal approvals. There you go, Daryl. Municipal approvals necessary and have the ability to have supply. It's not going to be a large number. Hoffman added he doesn't expect the industry to get fully off of its feet for 6 to 12 months after July 1st. What's the reason for the slow start? We'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up here in moments, because this is likely what a lot of states are going to go through.
Yeah.
And it took, 4 years for New Hampshire to finally open up its first medical marijuana facility after...
And they
had to be sued.
After a lawsuit.
By a dying woman who ended up dying after the lawsuit was successful.
Yes.
There's more coming up here. 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Free Talk Live.
Pushing women to the ground with a camera in her hand, I think a real man wouldn't do that. And you got to be on roids or something to get into that state of mind.
Well, Wayne hit it on the head. If they're not on steroids, and a number of them, some of them are, most of them probably aren't. They're not on steroids, maybe, but they're definitely high on adrenaline. Former drug task force officer, when he started with the police, he would get that adrenaline rush from writing a ticket. And then, of course, he acclimated himself to it, and then he needed something else. He needed to escalate. He needed to have something else. So it got so extreme that he would leave people uncuffed. Like he'd bust a coke dealer or something like that, and then just leave them uncuffed on the hopes that they would get up and try to run.
So he could kick some butt. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
Also, want to make sure you know about Liberty.menu. If you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, you qualify to go to Liberty.menu and add your business there. Why would you want to do that? Well, because it's basically a libertarian business directory that is, map-based, location-based, and you can also submit other things, not just businesses, but maybe liberty-oriented events or digital content that you've created. There's different categories there, but it's important because you can actually finally connect with other libertarian types who are looking for your business. And there might be somebody who wants to do business with you, but if they don't know you're freedom-friendly, then they might not be interested at all. Right. So you want to connect with those folks. Liberty.menu is the way to do it. People have been asking for a long time for a great libertarian business directory, and this is it. It is easy to use, it looks nice, and it's free. That's the most important part. It costs you nothing but whatever little bit of time that it takes to go to Liberty.menu and post your business or businesses, because, again, you can do more than one post there.
Or events.
Or digital content. And there's also, of course, ratings and reviews. So those of you who are just there to be consumers, to buy things, to look for services, you can post how it was over at Liberty.menu. You can use code FTL like Free Talk Live. Get yourself a special badge to identify yourself as a Free Talk Live listener at Liberty.menu. And that code goes into your user panel, your configuration settings there. So Liberty.menu, as we continue here, we're talking about the legalization of cannabis, legalization of marijuana down in Massachusetts, one of the new batch of states that's expected to roll out legal cannabis. They're supposed to start on July 1st, which is, just over a month from now.
Yep.
But when you start talking to people that are in the know, they're saying that it's probably not really, they're saying the industry's not really going to get off its feet for 6 to 12 months because there's a certain kind of tiered rollout system that they're doing where the medical marijuana dispensaries, they get first dibs, and then there's also a group of people who are sort of in these economically challenged zones or whatever, they get second dibs, and then it's kind of going to open up to the rest of the marketplace.
Yeah, right. But this is just retail, right?
Correct.
I mean, they can start commercially growing right now, right?
I don't know what the rules are. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know because, in some places you weren't authorized to begin commercial grow ops until you were approved for the retail.
Right.
And then in Colorado, they still have separate products that are labeled for recreational and some products that are labeled only for medical.
Right.
And if you have a medical card, you can only buy on the trip where you show your medical card, you can only buy medical product.
And there's a price difference, too.
There is a price difference. If you don't show the medical card and you just show a regular ID to prove that you're old enough, then you can only purchase the recreational if it's one of those facilities that sells both recreational and medical.
It looks like our speculations here were correct. According to the story at Boston.com, what are the reasons for the slow start? First, marijuana shops need a supply to sell, and the CCC, which is their regulatory
Cannabis Control Commission,
agency here, won't be approving retail or cultivation licenses until June 1st at the earliest. In the meantime, only registered medical dispensaries can grow marijuana plants, and not all of the state's 24 medical outlets plan to immediately enter the recreational market. Once additional licenses are approved, growing a marijuana plant can take up to several months. Thus, the only stores expected to have a supply of marijuana ready to sell in July are medical dispensaries who are granted the retail licenses.
And I'm guessing there's not going to be a wholesale market for cannabis?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
So, like, if you've got a grow op,
right?
I'm guessing they're not going to let you wind up supplying for multiple retail locations.
Which, of course, would lower the price if you were allowing a marketplace like that.
Right, and then there's also the question about what about edibles?
Yeah, is this kind of similar to the winemakers in New Hampshire who can't sell or the breweries who can't sell their product outside of their own company's property line? They can't sell at retail. They can only sell on their own property.
And then, Daryl, you were right. According to the story, more than half of the towns in Massachusetts, and I bet you there are a lot of towns in Massachusetts.
Yes.
I know there's like 200 or something like that in New Hampshire. Half of the towns in Massachusetts, more than half, have at least temporarily, if not indefinitely, banned retail pot shops from opening within their borders.
Of course.
Additionally, any marijuana establishment must show that they have done local outreach and reached a host community agreement in order for the CCC to approve their license.
How do you think, so if Keene was in Massachusetts, we're so close, and we practically are, how do you think the populace would handle this? Do you think they would pass it, or?
Well, we know Keene's voters voted down Keno, which is the gambling thing, that there was an option. The state allowed local governments to say no to this particular gambling.
Do we remember the results on that? It was a landslide, right?
I think it was probably 60-40, but I don't remember. But maybe marijuana would go differently in Keene, because some people who like marijuana might not like gambling. So it's hard to say.
And the whole Keno thing was also tied to funding full-day kindergarten as a way to sort of reach out to the people that wanted the full-day kindergarten. It was, oh, hey, so people that like gambling, we'll give you gambling, but you got to fund full-day kindergarten. And hey, people that want full-day kindergarten, we'll give you that,
but you got
to have gambling.
Well, I mean, it's the same argument with marijuana in this community. A lot of the even a lot of the liberals who are actually on board with legalizing are only saying so because of the revenue, because they because of all of their programs that they want funded, and they can't figure out how because they're running them into the ground. Now they've got this new. It was Keno last season, but for the longest time it's been, hey, there's this great vice out there that people really, really, really like, and we could fund our schools with it, our failing schools.
Now, we don't know what the legalization scheme is going to look like here in New Hampshire because it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
But eventually, something is going to break. We're likely going to see legal cannabis in New Hampshire at some point. And when that happens, New Hampshire is not what they call a home rule state, meaning that each locality, town, city does not generally get to decide its own laws. They can only do what the state authorizes them to do. So if in the scheme they authorize towns to be able to prohibit the sale of cannabis, that would be terrible. But if they don't do that, then that would mean that every town and city would have to approve of whatever applications.
Unless they roll it out like they did Keno, which was an option.
That's where they gave them an option. That's
an option for municipalities to actually be able to vote on this. So if they rolled it out the same way, then it would give Keene the option to vote it down.
Which hopefully they won't do it that way. In his statement to Boston.com, the regulator said, quote, given the realities of having to go through the municipal approval process as well as obtaining supply, I think it's fair to say it's not going to be on every street corner of every city and town in Massachusetts. He said further, the goal of having retail establishments open in July has not changed. However, the exact number depends on several factors: the number of sufficient license applications, the commission continuing to meet its deadlines, and applicants meeting the obligations of their required host community collaboration. Question: say I'm able to buy some recreational marijuana. Where can I smoke it? Adults over 21 have been able to legally possess and consume recreational marijuana in Massachusetts since December of 2016, and those rules don't change when it becomes legal to sell it too. It continues to be illegal to smoke or consume marijuana in public. Public and private property owners are allowed to restrict or ban its use, and they can already do with alcohol or tobacco. Landlords can also prohibit tenants from smoking marijuana as they can when it comes to smoking in general, but they cannot ban the consumption of marijuana in other ways, whether it be edibles or tinctures. Question: wait, if I'm a renter and I can't smoke pot in public or at my home, where can I smoke it? If that's the case, then there's some good news and bad news, says the story here from Boston.com. The law passed in 2016 allows for different types of social consumption establishments.
Weed dens.
Such as cannabis cafes that primarily serve marijuana, or even restaurants, movie theaters, or yoga studios that incorporate it into their principal business.
Yoga studios.
Blazing yoga. All right.
And movie theaters.
That said, these establishments would be prohibited from serving or allowing the consumption of alcohol at the same time as they do marijuana. Massachusetts would become the first state in the country to allow such social consumption establishments.
295 towns, 56 cities in Massachusetts.
All right, so that means more than 150 or so have prohibited the sale of cannabis, even though the voters voted to legalize it. There's more coming up here in moments, and you can take control of the airwaves here. 855 450 free like freedom.
Imagine this is you. You're working late when you get an alert on your smartphone. Your motion-activated Blink security camera picked up something at home. You pop open the Blink app and see the silhouette of a man peering through your kitchen window. You dial 911 and the police roll. The job of a home security system is to help stop crime, which is why I chose Blink. Get 3 Blink cams for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blinkprotect.com/FTL.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Take control of your water with the new ProPure Whole House Filtration System. The ProPure Home removes chlorine and up to 220 plus additional contaminants with Pro Max Full Spectrum Filter technology for truly great tasting, clean, and refreshing water. Order a ProPure Home today and receive a free pre-sediment filter, a $79.95 value. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com for details. Rethink what's in your water.
Get the ultimate knife at an ultimate price. The Fox Karambit knife. Finally available in the U.S. The Fox Karambit knife opens with one hand, faster than you can pull a handgun. For utility, for defense, and for way less than other knives of this caliber. Go to theultimateknife.com. Truly the best knife you will ever own, and only available at theultimateknife.com. Use promo code RADIO at checkout for free shipping. Get the ultimate knife at the ultimate price at theultimateknife.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free to join us here. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The Skype username is LRN.FM. Our Discord on-air call-in line room is available to you. You can join that, and we'll join you and get you on the air over at discord.lrn.fm. What is Discord? Well, it's actually a free chat server that has different channels. It's the LRN Discord, so there's channels for Free Talk Live and channels for Call to Freedom and Declare Your Independence, which are three of the live shows that we have here every weekday on LRN.FM, which is the Liberty Radio Network. But there are also topic-based channels like Cryptocurrency, ForkFest. There's a gaming channel. There's a general discussion. There's a Not Safe for Work channel as well, where somebody just posted a video, which is totally safe for work, but a video of like a crazy parrot going nuts with a cup, and it's really entertaining. So sometimes you just get random entertaining stuff through the chat server there over at discord.lrn.
And sometimes you get trolls.
Oh yeah, of course, guaranteed.
They live under bridges.
Yes.
Discord.lrn.fm. Sometimes you get a maniac threatening your life, and you know he just kind of comes in there and randomly threatens people's lives, and people who don't want that can block him But head on over there. It's an interesting place. Discord.lrn.fm, and it's there for you 24/7. So there's people in there at all times pretty much, and usually definitely during the show, before, during, and after Free Talk Live. So go drop in and see what it's all about. There are free apps that you can download for pretty much every operating system, or you can just use their web version at discord.lrn.fm. So we're talking about the kind of the ups and the downs of the new Massachusetts legalization scheme, where they're supposed to be opening their doors on July 1st, but it's sounding like maybe only a handful of establishments, the current medical licensees who were able to apply first for the new recreational sales license, they'll be the ones who will be opening up, if any, on July 1st, and then later there might be some more from certain economic zones, and then later they might allow other normal folks to open up their own establishments. And then a question was asked here at Boston.com about, well, where do you smoke it? Where can you actually legally smoke this besides in your own home? And what if your landlord says you're not allowed to smoke in your own home, since you're also not allowed to smoke in public? Now, is it in public if you're standing on your private property outside smoking cannabis?
I think it would have to do with the fumes, and if they're getting into your neighbor's property, then you would be violating his private property. So yes, I think, but yeah, could you sit out right out in your back porch?
Yeah,
in your yard, safely.
Hold on. So I'm trying to do some thinking here without having actually read the Massachusetts definition of public. I'm going to guess that if you were in your backyard, meaning that you cannot be viewed from the street, you're not in public.
So you don't need like a privacy fence surrounding the yard? Because your neighbor, if you don't have a privacy fence, could see you.
Well, that's where, and there was actually a court case that determined that the side of the house was not the backyard.
Okay.
So what I mean by backyard is you are behind your house, right, and there is nothing
can't be seen from the
visible from the street. So
from a public location.
From a public location, you cannot be seen.
What about a helicopter?
Or a drone.
I don't.
What if I got my drone and I'm spying on my neighbors, Daryl?
Who owns the helicopter? Because
I own the helicopter.
Probably.
Do you allow me to smoke in your helicopter?
Yeah,
if so, then that's private property. Like if it's a government-owned helicopter, then that's public. Or are you asking about if somebody's in a helicopter and they see you in your backyard?
If the police are in a helicopter and they see you in your backyard smoking, are you in public? Are you in public if you're on private property but could be visible by the public location nearby?
You don't own this house,
Ian. Based on...
You think you do, but...
And there have been a lot of court cases on what is a backyard.
Yeah. What if I want to be in my front yard?
If you were in your front yard, then it could arguably be construed that you are in public while also on public property.
Private property.
Right, on private property, or they could wind up just using the same definition that they do for open container of if you're in your yard and you've got an open beer, you're fine.
You're okay.
If you step onto the sidewalk to check your mail, now you're in public.
Ooh, that brings up a good question, Daryl. What if I'm on my property, open container in my hand, keys in my other hand, and I'm sitting in my vehicle on my property? Am I wrong? I mean, legally.
That would differ state to state. There are some states that say that if you are in control of the vehicle, whether the vehicle is on or not,
right,
and you are intoxicated, drunk driving.
Doesn't matter if the keys are on the floor or wherever, you can still get arrested in some
If
places.
you are in control of the vehicle.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Other states say if you are not in the driver's seat and the keys are not in the ignition, you can sleep it off. So that's a jurisdiction by jurisdiction answer.
Yep. Check your local laws and lawyers.
New Hampshire, there was a bill that would have allowed people to sleep it off in their car.
It's not legal to do that here?
No, it's not. And it wound up getting killed in the Senate because, quote, we don't want to encourage that kind of behavior. You don't want to encourage drunk people to sleep in the back of their car instead of driving home?
Instead, get them behind the wheel and get home before the police find them, right? That's a great
Basically,
policy.
it's going to hurt our bottom line. We need the revenue from drunk drivers.
According to the story, they're also putting together what they're calling social consumption establishments. Now, this is interesting because Massachusetts would be the first state in the country to allow these social consumption establishments of cannabis. Unfortunately, for those hoping to visit Amsterdam-style coffee shops in the Bay State, the CCC, which is the Cannabis Control Commission, under pressure from lawmakers, decided to delay the licensing of businesses where customers can buy and consume marijuana on site for at least another 8 months.
Of course.
Under the Commission's final regulations, all social consumption establishments will continue to be prohibited as the first phase of the retail pot industry gets on its feet.
So I'm curious here. How many voters in Massachusetts believed the BS claim of, we're just going to regulate it like alcohol?
Probably a bunch of them.
The same amount of people who voted for our president who thought he was going to make America great again.
Drain the swamp.
Drain the swamp. Oh, did you hear about the sinkhole in the White House yard?
No.
There's a picture of a damn sinkhole, and it's growing every day.
Oh, yes.
Right there next to the fence.
It's not huge.
It's not huge, but it could. But it's big. But it's growing every day.
I was hoping the whole White House would fall in. Wouldn't that be fun?
You know, I'm thinking they're claiming that it's just a natural occurrence. We're from Florida, and they're all over the place.
They are natural, yeah.
But what I'm thinking, this might be like a secret room. Underneath a bunker or something that is,
where they actually are draining the swamp,
where the lizards live, and yes, it's just falling apart.
Speaking of lizards, Conan, what are your thoughts on cryptozoology?
I don't know what that is. Is that
a secret study of?
It's the
animals?
Study of animals that may or may not actually be real.
Oh,
Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot.
Why is it crypto?
Crypto means secret.
Secretive animals. So animals that we don't really know if they live.
I don't follow unicorns, Bigfoot. I talk about lizards a lot, but I don't really follow them.
Mm-hmm.
Story from U.S. News, and I don't want to get too far into it, but since we're mentioning weird things, some scientists, and I'm using air quotes there, they want to do DNA testing of various parts of Loch Ness to find out if there might actually be a Loch Ness Monster?
Well, as long as it's not my money, I say go for it. It's a big lake.
I think it's ridiculous. Tell me more, because you told me a little bit about this before, and I explained why it was.
Yeah, so University of Otago professor Neil
sounds like my money already.
Says he's no believer in Nessie, but
this is in the UK, so it's probably not your money.
He and his team will take 300 samples of water from different points and depths around the lake. They will filter the organic material, i.e. fish poop. They're going to dig up fish poop that's floating around in the lake and extract any DNA, and then use technology that has been created for the Human Genome Project and try to figure out what all species of things they found fish poop from, and if any of these are not known species, maybe there's a Nessie.
Well,
that doesn't necessarily follow, but and I can't even imagine. I mean, I'm not a scientist or whatever, but that sounds really scientifically questionable to me, to just take a bunch of water samples and then say, oh, well, we found this kind of fish, we found this kind of fish, we found this kind of fish, we found something else here, we don't know what that is, it must be the Loch Ness Monster.
3 things that are inconclusive, must be Nessie.
Yeah. I mean, how many damn decades has this Nessie supposedly been around, by the way?
100 years, right?
Has it really been that? Is that the claim?
It's been a long time.
It's got to be dead. If it ever was a thing, surely it's not still swimming around in that damn Loch Ness.
It's not the same one from 2,000 years
Nessie
ago.
baby.
So it's like Shamu, where they bring in a new Nessie to replace it, but they still call it the same thing?
They keep having babies.
She had kids.
There's more on the way here. Hour number 3's on. Coming up.
If you or anyone you love has been diagnosed with lung cancer, asbestosis, or mesothelioma, your diagnosis may be the result of job-related exposure to asbestos, and you may be entitled to compensation. Over $30 billion in trusts have been set aside for individuals who have been affected by asbestos exposure. How do you protect your rights and get the compensation you deserve? Call Capital Legal Group now at 800-400-LUNG. Capital Legal Group is one of the nation's resources for settlement of lung cancer and mesothelioma cases. Law firms have successfully recovered over $2.7 billion for their clients in all 50 states, and claims have been paid in as little as 60 days. If you or a family member were diagnosed with lung cancer, asbestosis, or mesothelioma, call Capital Legal Group now at 800-400-LUNG. We'll open a no-cost case review on your behalf. A history of tobacco use or cigarette smoking will not disqualify your case. Visit 800-400-LUNG.com or call 800-400-LUNG. Call 800-400-5864 now. That's 800-400-LUNG.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.47 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,294 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $37, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,876. Antiwar.com reports at least 55 people were killed and scores of others wounded in a series of Taliban attacks across Afghanistan, starting with a double suicide bombing on Monday morning in the capital city of Kabul. The strikes hit near NATO headquarters. 25 were killed and 45 wounded in Kabul. In the neighboring Ghazni province, the Taliban carried out attacks on police forces, killing at least 14 police, including a district commander, and wounding 12 others. They stormed several checkpoints. Further south in Kandahar, security forces found a van packed with explosives. They failed to defuse it, and the ensuing explosion killed at least 16 people and wounded 38 others. Officials say they also recovered weapons and suicide vests in the same area and believe the militants were planning a big attack against shoppers near the end of Ramadan. The Taliban's attacks are on the increase because of the spring offensive. They are believed to have been responsible for the Kabul and Ghazni attacks. Though there has yet to be any claim of responsibility for the Kandahar deaths, that city is the Taliban's homeland.
For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the American Civil Liberties Union demanded Amazon stop marketing facial recognition technology to government agencies, citing possible civil rights violations. The ACLU Foundations of California released emails Tuesday between Amazon and law enforcement agencies in Orlando, Florida, and the Washington County Sheriff's Office in Oregon regarding the facial recognition technology called Rekognition, which is powered by artificial intelligence. The team of 3 ACLU affiliates in California said in a release of the 147 pages of documents, which includes the emails, reveals how Amazon and its subsidiary, Amazon Web Services, marketed the facial recognition technology to law enforcement agencies. The document release capped a 6-month investigation into how Amazon has helped agencies deploy the technology. The ACLU Foundations of California said it objects to Amazon's marketing of Rekognition to these agencies based on privacy concerns and the potential for discriminatory abuse. It sent a letter Tuesday to Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos demanding his company stop marketing the product to government agencies. Tuesday's letter to Bezos said people should be free to walk down the street without being watched by the government. Facial recognition in American communities threatens this freedom. In over-policed communities of color, it could effectively eliminate it. A spokesperson for Amazon Web Services defended the company in a statement to The Hill. The spokesperson said, Amazon requires that customers comply with the law and be responsible for when they use AWS services. When we find that AWS services are being abused by a customer, we suspend that customer's rights to use our services. The spokesperson added, our quality of life would be much worse today if we outlaw new technology because some people could choose to abuse the technology. Imagine if customers couldn't buy a computer because it was possible to use the computer for illegal purposes. Tuesday's letter also signed by other ACLU chapters and several other activist organizations that focus on defending constitutional rights, civil rights, and human rights, such as the Center for Media Justice, Color of Change, and Human Rights Watch. Malkia Cyrell, executive director of the Center for Media Justice, said in the release, we already know that facial recognition algorithms discriminate against black faces and are being used to violate human rights of immigrants.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.
Reuters reports pirate attacks around South American and Caribbean waters are growing and violence is increasingly used during robberies committed on vessels at anchor, according to a report released on Wednesday. The Oceans Beyond Piracy nonprofit group recorded 71 incidents in Latin America and the Caribbean in 2017, an increase of 163% from 2016. They said the majority of attacks occurred in territorial waters, with around 59% of the incidents involving robbery on yachts. Venezuela, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Colombia, and St. Lucia were the regional hotspots during 2017. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Markets went into a frenzy today after the price of money suddenly skyrocketed to $90 a dollar. Onion reporters spoke to economics professor Mark Cosgrave about the soaring cost of U.S. currency and the impact of increasingly unpredictable dollar-to-dollar rates.
Right now, money prices are steeply rising with no signs of slowing down. This morning alone, the price of dollars nearly tripled, with 1 cent worth approximately $6. That's exponentially higher than even a week ago when money was trading at roughly $53 on the dollar. To put it bluntly, we're now in the midst of a national economic crisis.
According to Cosgrave, the abrupt spike in dollar prices initially caused many Americans to hold on to their money, hoping that the $90 cost of dollars would soon dip back down. But as prices continued to climb, investors panicked and began purchasing as much money as possible.
But with the cost of quarters hitting $4.97 and the $5 bill jumping to a 12-year high of $372, the days when you could get $30 or $40 for just a couple of bucks are unfortunately long gone.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, launching into the third hour of the program. You can dial in toll free. You can bring up whatever you want to discuss and take control of the airwaves here. 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Whether you want to talk about marijuana legalization or the Venezuelan elections or whatever it is that's on your mind, those are a couple of the things we've discussed here so far tonight. The we includes me, Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
And Conan, coming up, you're going to tell us about Amazon new policy that some people are going to find a little shocking, a little outrageous.
Old policy, but they're cracking down.
All right, I want to get into that coming up here in a little bit. Of course, your calls and thoughts are welcome about what you want. We go to the phones, to the fun. Gene, the Christian anarchist, starts us out here. He's on the Discord on-air call-in line. Go ahead, Gene.
Hi, guys. It's funny you should talk about helicopters tonight because I happen to be on my way down to Florida to pick mine up.
Oh, all right.
It's finally fixed again. So
what was wrong with it?
It was broken.
Yeah, I broke it.
Well, I figured since he's getting it fixed, but like there are a lot of things that can go wrong. So, you know, like the blades could fall off. It could just wind up needing like a window.
The blades actually fell off?
Well, after it hit the ground, yeah.
Oof.
But that's.
Did you walk away from it?
Oh, yeah.
No, he died.
Well,
yeah.
you can
I didn't
walk away
get
from something and avoid death.
Yeah, didn't get a scratch, just damaged it.
Okay.
So,
anyway,
what kind of contraption are we talking about? What model and whatnot?
Oh, it's a Safari 400.
Safari
made
400.
in Florida. Yeah.
And what does it cost to repair a helicopter? It can't be cheap.
No, it wasn't cheap. It cost more than a new car. But
to do the repairs?
Yeah.
Wow. Now this is now I just looked it up here. The Safari is a kit helicopter. Does that mean you built the kit, or did you hire somebody to do it?
You can build it, or you can have the factory build it. This one was factory built, and they did the repairs on it. So,
what does it cost to
But
have the factory build it?
It looks like a MASH helicopter.
It does.
Yeah,
it totally
it's
does.
Like, it's like a dragonfly.
So what does it cost? What's one of these things cost to get from the factory? If you don't mind sharing.
Uh-oh.
Hello? Gene, come back, Gene.
And of course, like 10
There he is. There he is. Wait.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I guess I can't let my phone go to sleep.
I guess you can't.
I'll have to keep it awake.
All right. So yeah, what does it cost?
The kit price is about $140,000 or maybe $149,000, I think, and that includes the motor, the engine. That includes everything. That includes a brand new aircraft engine.
But plus assembly.
Then you have to assemble it.
So
But
what if you pay for them to assemble it? What's that cost?
If you buy it assembled, I think it's like $25,000 more. I'm not sure.
Okay,
so I'm looking. I found a website, Aero Trader, and they have a 2010 model Safari for sale for $108,000.
Ian, you're not thinking about buying one of these, are you?
No way. I'm not interested necessarily in the flying.
What about
business.
a Millennium MH1 for the low price of $44,000?
That's cheap.
What if you bought one and became the first Uber pilot in Keene? You could fly people around.
They actually had that. There was actually some.
FAA,
go ahead.
The FAA would frown on that unless you had a commercial rating and Part 1.
But this is Ian we're talking about. He would just do it.
He's not allowed to drive for Uber anyway.
That's true. I think, Gene, didn't you call before about that company? Somebody had called about a company that was trying to do the Uber of flying, and the FAA just wasn't having it.
Yeah, they wouldn't have it.
I think there's been a couple of companies that have tried doing various things. So I'm on the Safari helicopter website right now. The complete kit, $142,800. Brand new right now.
Yep, and then it take about a year to put it together, and you're good to go.
Until you crash it, in which case then you've got to ship it back to the factory and have them fix it, unless you're capable of doing that yourself.
Right. Well, if you built it yourself, you can fix it yourself.
So now you're how are you getting down to Florida? Are you going to fly the helicopter back, or are you going to put it on the back of a truck and No,
it'll be on a trailer.
Okay.
I bought the optional trailer with it, so I have a trailer for it.
How far can one of these things fly on like a tank of gas?
About 2.5 hours at about 100 miles an hour.
Okay, that's a bit of a journey.
All the way to the ground.
Yeah.
So you weren't just calling to share your good news about your helicopter being repaired, were you, or were you?
No, actually, I called because I'm on this long road trip, and I see all these idiots driving, and I see a lot of truck drivers driving who are
professional
kind of
drivers
too.
Oh no, many of them are actually very, very competent drivers.
Yes, and I agree with that. But they have, they're like bikers have a certain code, and truck drivers have a certain code
for sure.
And part.
Go ahead. Did your phone go to sleep? This is the first time this has happened. You're back.
What is going on with my phone?
I don't know, but you're back now.
It's crystal clear until those couple of moments where you just pop off.
Wow. Because it did go to sleep right before, a little bit before that, and it was working. I was talking to you, but then after it had gone to sleep for a little bit, then it went quiet.
So truck drivers and bikers have a code.
The code, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this code that the truck drivers have really angers me, and it is this idiotic idea that when there's a traffic jam somewhere, there's an accident up ahead or whatever, they will drive side by side to kind of
they'll box you
control. Yeah, to control the traffic. They don't want to see one lane going faster than the other, so they'll lock up both lanes and drive along, and they'll leave about 200 feet of blank space in front of them that could be full of cars. Now, why would you want to fill the blank space with cars? I'm going to tell you exactly why you would want to do that. Because they stretch that traffic jam that probably would be a mile worth of traffic. They'll stretch it out to 2 miles, 3 miles long on that stretch of freeway. Why don't you want it to be 2 or 3 miles long? Because it blocks additional exits from that freeway. So if you were to compress that traffic into 1 mile of traffic instead of 3 miles, there would be exits that people could take to get off the freeway and avoid the traffic jam.
You know what? I've actually thought about this, and my big complaint is when I am the guy in the right lane, the lane that is not, when you finally get to the bottleneck, it's in the actual right lane. You don't have to merge.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot stand these fools who shoot right up the wrong lane all the way to the front and then try to merge and try to sneak in.
Yeah.
And that's what these truck drivers are doing. They're preventing those people from doing that.
No. Listen.
But if the traffic jam is
me.
If the traffic jam is like 2 miles, I've got a problem with it, man.
No, listen. You're describing this fool right here on the phone, okay? Because that's what I do. I think it's absolutely absurd to leave that pavement unused. Why not use that pavement, go all the way to the front? When you get to the front, then everybody takes turns merging. That makes sense. But to leave a half a mile of open pavement just because you know up ahead it goes over into the other lane makes absolutely no sense.
Okay, I'm not talking about a half a mile. I'm talking about like 100 yards, where everyone starts merging when they realize which lane is ending, and they all get over and they're all very civil about it, and then you have some yahoo who sneaks right up to the front who wasn't waiting in line and sneaks in.
He's in a Ron Paul Corvette.
He should not be able to sneak up there because it should already be full of cars. You see what I'm saying?
And by the way, I will not let that person in. I will sneak up till my bumper is touching the guy in front of me, and I'll give you the finger too.
Yeah. Now wait,
that's
Gene.
good. That's good, but I always count on a little old lady who's going to leave a big gap.
I know, man.
Is this wait a minute?
Well, so
wait a minute.
why don't
is this
you do
true
it too,
though?
then?
Is this true? I mean, is this something the truckers do on purpose, or is it just like a coincidence that you've seen it a couple times?
They absolutely do it on purpose.
I can't say I've ever seen it. I mean,
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I know they do it, and I think I explained. I'm not sure, but I think I explained exactly why they do it that way. They keep people from getting in front of them.
Well, there's also people that just will not let a big truck over because they're like, I'm not getting behind that big old truck.
So they're trying to make room for themselves.
Exactly. So that truck driver, they're sharing the road, and he's going to let his fellow truck driver get in front of him, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe this. I'm hoping that we actually have some professional drivers out there listening. I don't know if they're listening live or not, but I'd like to.
They're gonna call. They're gonna be all angry about what
I'd like to have them weigh in on this one. Gene, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Drive safe out there either way. I appreciate
and fly
hearing from
safe.
you. Yep. Toll free. Yeah, right. Toll free number here is 855-450 free like freedom. 855-450-3733. If you are a driver, a professional truck driver out there, and that's really a thing. There's got to be a name for it, so clue us in.
Boxing.
This is Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com with just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Good technology is good, but the philosophy behind the tech is important. And Zencash was made by voluntarists with the ideas of voluntary interaction being embedded into the white paper. With no central authority or single point of failure, Zencash is more resilient than a traditional corporation. Everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in decision-making, which empowers stakeholders and makes Zencash less susceptible to third-party influence. And Zencash allows for secure private transactions. Learn more at zencash.com. Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. If you want to take control of the airwaves, you can. Our number here for you is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, so feel free to Skype on in here. Skype username is lrn.fm. There's also the Discord on-air call-in line room where you will sound almost like you're sitting in the studio here with us.
Unless your phone goes to sleep every 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, discord.lrn.fm can hop you in there, and you can jump in and talk about whatever you want. With you tonight here, it's Ian.
And Conan.
And Daryl.
You know, Zencash, we were just checking out the world of cryptocurrency during the break. Big down day for almost every crypto today. It's one of those times. You know, it just tends to be, sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down. Today was not a good day for any cryptos, basically. There's maybe only a handful that actually went up today, including Pied Piper coin actually went up. But Zencash is one worth taking a look at, maybe especially now that the price is down a little bit. You can go to zencash.com and you can learn about Zencash and how it was made by voluntarists, people who actually agree with freedom, people who care about liberty, that understand what freedom means and what good economics is. So it's important to have good philosophy behind a coin. In addition, they've got the best technology, some of the best privacy technology out there. I mean, a lot of people are going to argue that their privacy technology is the best, and I'm not an engineer, so I can't really say for sure. But if you are the engineering type, you should read their white paper over at zencash.com. Or even if you're not, there's still some stuff worth reading in there over at zencash.com. They've also got over 11,000 secure nodes, which we just checked the Bitcoin node count last night. Bitcoin's got over 10,000, so Zencash has more nodes in their system than Bitcoin does, which means it's one of the most secure cryptocurrencies on the planet today. You can go to zencash.com to learn more about it and get started over there. Do your due diligence. It's, by the way, again, zero knowledge anonymity. It's got the privacy features. And so if you care about privacy and you care about freedom, you really ought to look at Zencash. As we continue here, we got Mike. He's in Charleston, West Virginia, listening on the radio to WVTS. Hello, Mike.
Hey, how you guys?
Welcome. You're on the air. Doing great.
Good. They call that a rolling roadblock. We do that so that we don't have to start over through 10 or 18 gears every time somebody dives in front of you in that cushion of space that you're supposed to leave from the car in front of you. You have to stop and start back over, changing gears. It's kind of annoying, especially when, you're almost there and the guy jumps in front of you and all but stop, and then you start back over.
So what you're saying is when these trucks, these humongous trucks with all this momentum behind them get rolling, it takes, some serious shifting to get them going, and it's better to have them just continue rolling real slow than to have to continually start and stop. Is that what you're saying?
You sound like a truck driver. Yes, that's exactly it. And you have to leave that cushion because it takes, even at slow speeds, it takes a little longer to stop that 80,000-pound truck than it does that 800 or 1,800-pound car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, is there a rule of thumb for truckers? Like Gene was talking about, like a half mile of doing this before the bottleneck. I mean, that seems a little extreme.
Usually, they're talking on the radio there that what's going on, and if there's an exit open up above or just up the road there, well, the guys will get out of the way and let everybody roll through. Most of the companies really frown on it if somebody calls in and complains about the trucks.
Now when you so we're talking about interstates, and you have a slow lane and a fast lane, and they have these signs all over the place. That's a law. Are you guys in violation of the law doing this?
Not everywhere is it that way. You can roll in the fast or the slow, especially if you're able to keep up speed in most states. Not everywhere is that the case, but they have it posted if they want no trucks in the left lane.
Well, most states are passing laws that the left lane is for passing only. And if you are not actively passing, then you can wind up being pulled over, which seems kind of ridiculous.
But, it's kind of hard to pass or not pass when you're caught up in a whole bunch of traffic like that.
It's going to be hard for the cops to pull you over if they're not right there. Most of them are going to be on the scene of the accident or whatever.
Right. So. I'm just saying in general, the left lane, that most people think of as the fast lane, laws are now being passed that, no, you can only be in that if you're actively passing.
I think that would be probably unenforced during a major traffic backup when everybody's got to be in every lane.
Yeah, because that's kind of probably the last thing the cops want to do is step side of the road, writing a trucker a ticket while everybody's rubbernecking at him, crashing into each other as they're waiting on this accident to clear.
Mike, I really appreciate you calling to share that. I'm this is the magic of radio, right? We're out there, we're on broadcast radio, and we got real professional drivers listening to the show. Man, I appreciate it. Anything else you want to share tonight?
Yeah, love the show, guys. Keep it up.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the call.
Thank
Drive
you
safe
for
out
your
there.
service.
Yeah, and thanks for your service to everybody. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. I don't know if that's going to make Gene feel any better, but it's a good explanation.
All right. When I'm talking about, I'm okay with the boxing, with the rolling roadblocks, only when there's serious traffic jam and construction and a bottleneck coming up.
Yeah.
But if there's nothing going on and the speed limit is 70. And you got some yahoos that are doing this. I've seen both situations. That I am not okay with.
You've seen truckers doing that with the wide open highway?
70 miles an hour, boxing, creating the box. But yeah, if there's a traffic jam and you're afraid of these yahoos sneaking up in front and having to change gears for every time someone sneaks in front of you, I have a problem with that, yes.
Toll-free number tonight, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE like freedom. Back when I was in high school, they called it a Polish roadblock, where the idea was it wasn't truckers. It was just any three jackballs from the high school would, go and occupy the 3 lanes of the interstate and just go slowly just to make people mad. I never did that, but that's what they called it.
That is, those people need to get run off the road.
Yeah, let's go to Matthew listening in Louisiana. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Matthew.
Hey. Well, just about covered truck driving and the reason why these guys don't like to scrape cars off their front bumpers.
Yeah.
today on the hyper-caffeinated Hannity show, I heard a caller, Carrie Pickett from the Daily Caller call in, and she said that the FBI, they are beside themselves because the stuff that's going on with planting spies in the Trump administration and stuff like that, and trying to catch him talking with Russians, which, by the way, isn't illegal.
Nope.
It's having a bad effect on the conviction rate that federal prosecutors are getting because people just aren't believing the FBI anymore. They don't have any credibility left.
That's a good thing.
Great news.
The federal blackmail institution.
Well, as we found out during the Rich Paul trial here, there was an FBI agent who testified, and Rich, one of our former co-hosts, was accused of selling cannabis, and he was selling cannabis. He ended up being found guilty for it, but the FBI got involved because they wanted to flip Rich and turn him into a snitch and a rat and have him wear a wire into the Keene Activist Center at the time, and Rich refused to do so. So they ended up calling the FBI agent on the stand, and he actually swore under oath that the FBI has a rule where they do not record their interviews. They just take notes. And that means they can just write down anything. So they are completely untrustworthy. Matthew, if you got more to say, stand by here in moments. It's nice to hear that maybe some people might be figuring that out. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Healthcare reform is confusing. With the loss of the Obamacare mandate, those needing help can now choose an affordable alternative. By joining Liberty HealthShare, you're part of a community of health-conscious Americans all over the country who control their own healthcare costs and choices. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of their medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free if you want to join us here. Take control of the airwaves and bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. Daryl, coming up in a few months from now, several months from now, you're doing the New York Marathon.
Yes, I am.
Which is one of the most, I guess, biggest deals when it comes to marathons around the world.
Yes.
You've qualified as a runner for the Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project being an organization that takes donations and uses that to help people who were wrongfully convicted.
Yes.
Who are sitting and rotting in prison. They've saved, what, few hundred folks? Couple hundred?
They have saved over 200. 7 of those have been exonerated this year alone.
So they are, they got a lot of work to do. They can't take on all of the projects, unfortunately, and they need a lot more funding for that. But
yes.
You're working on raising some money to get you onto officially the team. You're qualified, but you got to raise some cash.
Right. I've got to raise $3,500 right now.
And you're at
just
2,500?
over $2,500.
So nice.
There has been some matching funds. I'm just waiting on those to actually come in.
Okay.
Once the matching funds come in, I will have hit the goal.
Didn't the Shire Free Church pledge some matching funds? In which case, you should just ask me for the funds because I can get them too.
Yes.
Because you haven't really asked me to.
Well, I did send an email.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, was it today?
No, it was a couple of weeks ago, and you responded to the email.
Okay, good.
But wait, you guys, am I on?
You're right here.
You guys talk like every single day, and you're emailing each other.
Sometimes, you got to email.
Because sometimes email is easier.
Because it's official documents and whatnot.
And then it's
just easier to keep track of.
Here's where I told you the thing.
Yeah.
But once all of the matching funds come in, I'll officially be over the goal.
Okay.
I would like to wind up getting close to $5,000.
Yeah, because that'll all go to the Innocence Project.
All of it goes to the Innocence Project when you go to run.freetalklive.com. And the platform is set up to where when you donate, you cover the fees that are associated with credit cards. That way, none of that winds up being withheld from the Innocence Project or any of the other charities through the platform.
So run.freetalklive.com, you can contribute in what ways?
That would be credit card only through run.freetalklive.com.
Okay.
If you want to contribute cash, Bitcoin, stuff like that, shoot me an email, Daryl@freetalklive.com.
Perfect. All right, let's continue here. Conan, let's switch over to Amazon. You are a regular Amazon seller. You sell books and stuff like that.
I am a merchant. I've been a merchant for about 3.5 years now. I sell a lot of books.
You also sell the official remaining quantity of Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree.
I sell those on eBay.
On eBay. So, by the way, for those who are interested in a copy of Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree, they are now only available through Conan's eBay operation and through Open Bazaar. But had to move from Purse because Purse got rid of their individual sales system. And
that's a shame.
It just wasn't working out.
Right.
But they actually recommended. It was interesting because when Purse shut that down, they actually recommended Open Bazaar.
Nice.
As, hey, this is something you should go over and try. So if you want to go and check that out, you can go to victimlesscrimespree.com and click on DVD or order or something like that, and you'll find the details on how to get to Conan's advertisements there. They are not flying off the shelves, let me tell you that. So, if you want one, we're going to have them for a long time because I've got like 100 of these discs left, and I suspect it's going to take me the rest of my lifetime to probably sell all 100 of those. But those are available, victimlesscrimespree.com. And Amazon's got all kinds of stupid rules, which is why we weren't able to sell those on Amazon. They used to be on Amazon officially because the official producer of those DVDs, before they quit producing them, now they're out of print. They had the ability to sell those. When I started looking into it, you informed me, Conan, that Amazon's got all these ridiculous rules that say that you have to like a special contract with the printer of the discs or something like. Even though I'm the executive producer of the movie, I cannot authorize anybody, including myself, to sell these DVDs on Amazon. It was insane.
Their excuse is that it is to prevent fraud. And I do believe that, especially when you consider some companies like China and India who are mass producing copy bootlegged DVDs and slapping them into the same case and then sell them to those Yankees. Yes, I think that it was actually taking place. Was it taking place on the level that Amazon says that it was, or is this in fact just a way to favor the big producers of media in this company, in this country, as opposed to, say, you? Actually,
a total independent.
And total independent. You only have 100 DVDs, and you only want to sell those 100.
Right.
And you're not really competing with some Yahoo over across the country.
And it didn't matter that I had an invoice from the official manufacturer.
The fact that you didn't have enough.
I didn't have the clout.
Inventory. Says that you can't sell them on Amazon.
So what's the latest development over there at Amazon? What is the new rule?
So now this is not a new rule. It's just something that is becoming more and more apparent. So apparent, in fact, that the Wall Street Journal wrote an article on it yesterday. I can't read that article because of a paywall. But no, this has to do with the return policy. And
normally Amazon's good at returns. Like in my experience, they're pretty good at taking returns back.
Just like Walmart, just like Home Depot, just like Target, you can basically take whatever back, and they're gonna work with you. The problem is that when you have individuals who are
third-party sellers,
you have the fraudsters. You have people who
the serial returners.
You have the people who will get an SAT book, a 2018 SAT book, will take it and they'll keep it for 29 days. Use it and then return it to you on the 30th day, and they get away with it. Or actually returning a different item, or breaking the item and returning it. And I think a lot of people think that they are actually scamming Amazon, but in fact, it's just
the
like
sellers.
It's me. It's the seller. I specialize in books. I only sell books and video games and stuff like that.
Right.
So I mean, and I only sell about 100 books a month. Well, so if you return 5% of my inventory to me, you could actually damage me, and I couldn't.
Even though when people check out at Amazon, the vast majority of the time will tell you this is delivered by Amazon or this is delivered by a third party. How many people actually pay attention to that and see that there's a third party?
What I do is I have my wish list. It's always up and running, and I wait until I get to that. I break that limit. I think it's 40. I don't even know what it is right now. It's 35 or 45. And you get the free shipping option. So I don't.
They raised it. It used to be 25.
And by the way, this is another scam of Amazon. This actually works in their favor. The free shipping actually works in their favor because people will. I need to fulfill another.
I need to
fulfill another $9 to get the 45, and they buy something they don't need.
Right.
If you're me, you actually have your wish list open all the time. You're building it all the time, and so you say you need some printer paper, you need some stickers or something.
You don't need a few other things.
I'll just buy an extra of what I need.
If you need it, if you're buying something you don't actually need, then Amazon wins.
Spirulina and some bee pollen granules. I'll just buy another container, and then I don't have to buy it for
I've
another
done it with batteries
month.
or something like
that.
Now,
being a bookseller, I don't really have a whole lot of returns.
Okay.
I probably, in thousands and thousands of books, I probably have a dozen returns that I can remember. But
what are the reasons? Do they ever give you a reason?
But I'm in Amazon groups, and I read these horror stories all the time.
Of the scams?
You could tell people are getting scammed.
So what are the new rules about returns?
Or the now enforced rules?
Not new rules. You can still return items. You're being punished for serial returners. So here's the story. This is coming from the New York Post.
I support it.
I wouldn't buy cereal on Amazon.
It's not cereal as in breakfast cereal, but repeat returners.
Yes. Yeah.
Turns out Amazon's 30-day return policy isn't so liberal after all. The company has been banning people it claims are sending back too many items. E-commerce giant, which self-proclaimed mission is to be Earth's most customer-centric company, bans users who cause a lot of headaches for Amazon. Former Amazon policy enforcement investigator Chris McCabe told the Journal just that. And that's creating headaches for users who say the e-commerce giant led them to believe regular returns were okay. But guess what? It's not Walmart, man.
No, but look, regular returns aren't okay, period, because there are... I want to get into this a little bit more coming up here because I fully support them on this. I'm not a big fan of some of the things Amazon does, but there are people out there who are not only just scam artists, but they're just addicted to returning products, and they need to stop.
Yep.
There's more coming up here.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Were you born before the year 1956? If so, did you know you could be collecting between $575 and $2,200 in tax-free income right now? All thanks to the FHA. Or what about this? Did you know 54 U.S. congressmen have used a special tax-free account to earn up to 35 times more on their money? It's true, and you can do it too. These are just 2 of the secrets revealed inside a stunning new book from the Palm Beach Research Group and Ted Benna, the man behind the 401k. You'll discover the 18 best cash cows that can help you earn up to an extra $6,800 a month. If you're at or near retirement, this book is a must-read. Today, you can get your very own free copy of Ted Benna's new book. Shipping and handling charges apply.
Get your copy of Ted Benna's book when you text Benna to 79000. Text BENNA to 79000. Text Benna to 79000 now.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You dial in toll-free here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We're talking about Amazon and people who are returning products too often. And apparently Amazon is now cracking down on these customers who are like, you know, it's one thing if you got a problem with a pair of shoes that you order or whatever, and, you know, there's some things that are understandable.
Right.
If a product's broken, whatever. But if there's a customer out there who just keeps on returning things, the customer isn't always right, okay? Sometimes the customer is a scam artist, or sometimes the customer is just this indecisive person who just can't figure out what it is they actually want. And those aren't customers you want to have in your store. If they're costing you money, you gotta say bye-bye. And if that's what Amazon is doing in this case, I fully support them.
Right. And well, one of the things that Conan had mentioned about possibly returning a different item
or breaking it.
Well, I've heard people say that, you know, like let's say the little Hamilton Beach single-serve blender that I have.
Yeah.
I had one about a year and a half ago where the motor just went out.
Yep.
And
it's out of warranty.
I didn't have a warranty on it.
Yep.
It's $15. Bought a new one from Walmart, and a less scrupulous person would have just put the broken one in the thing. Hey, I just bought this. It was broken.
Happens all the time at retail.
And you know, I was comparing this to like Walmart, Home Depot returns.
Mm-hmm.
But in that case, you're actually doing the driving. You're driving back to the facility. You're actually going to the customer service and handing it back and getting your money back. When you're dealing with Amazon, when you're dealing with me, you're talking about shipping.
Yep.
And a lot of times, so that I get good customer reviews, I'm actually paying for this stupid return shipping. And after all is said and done, I'm actually losing money on a return. I lose money on a return, guys.
Yeah.
And
you can only do that so many times. If you've got a real good customer who, you know, has bought 20 books and returns one of them, no big deal. But if they return half of them, then you're probably not making money.
Yeah, that's not a customer who I want to work with. Right. I will just go ahead and forfeit all of the positive benefits of that customer in order to not lose money at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And if that's what Amazon is up to here, is they're finally saying no to these customers rather than trying to pretend like with this ridiculous crap of Starbucks opening up their restaurants to anybody that just wants to come hang out. That's not how you do business.
Right.
So, or who's the donut store that's open their bathrooms to homeless people?
This is Starbucks.
Is that Starbucks?
Starbucks recently announced a new policy that everyone that enters their cafes, patios, etc., is considered a customer whether a purchase has been made or not. And I think that there needs to be a line drawn somewhere of you have to place an order 5 seconds after walking into the facility, and everybody can come stay here all day long.
Yeah. It's insane.
Because and the example that I gave when we were discussing this a few nights ago, and Mark just could not seem to wrap his head around, maybe I don't want to order until my friend shows up.
Yeah, that's reasonable. But how long can you wait and hang out before?
Right, so if I show up, let's say, hey, we're meeting at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
I get there at 1:55. 1:59, I get a text from my friend, hey, I'm stuck in traffic. I'll be there in 5-10 minutes. Yeah. Do I wind up getting arrested for trespassing? Do I have to walk across the street and then come back?
That would be entirely unreasonable.
Right.
Case. But if you're there for an hour and somebody from the crew comes over and is like, hey, you didn't order anything, and we need to clear out this table. We're busy, so we need to get you to move along here. That's not unreasonable either to ask somebody to move along.
I hope that that wait service doesn't get the back of their hand smacked with a ruler because they went and you were talking mean to the customers.
So, like I was saying, there's some customers you just don't want.
Right.
You don't want that customer sitting there for 3 hours not ordering anything and taking up table space for somebody who could be ordering something.
And probably stealing Wi-Fi all the while.
Exactly. Now,
is it really stealing Wi-Fi when they advertise it as free Wi-Fi for customers, and they change their rule to say everybody's a customer?
Yeah, well, it's the dumbest thing they could do.
If it was my donut shop, my free Wi-Fi would say free Wi-Fi to paying customers.
Indeed. So
the article does continue, and I think it does it doesn't talk about, it doesn't highlight any of the horror stories that I know about that and I haven't experienced a whole lot of them. But like I said, I know other merchants who go through this all the time, and it's usually clothes merchants, the guys who are selling shoes, the guys who are selling shirts and pants. The guy, you get the wrong size. What are you going to do? Are you just going to keep that $20 pair of pants? Or you going to return
send it back? And that's one of those. That's got to be a tough
business.
But
they never say it's the wrong size. They say there's something wrong with it, or they say that I didn't mean to buy this, or they actually damage the item. They'll put a hole in it, or if it's if it's an audio book or something. I was just reading some reports from a guy who said, there's nothing wrong with the audiobook after they listened to it for 30 days, and you can't return that. And the customer broke it and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't report that correctly."
How do you break an audiobook?
An audio CD.
Oh, I'm thinking because Amazon has Audible.
Yeah, not Kindle.
I'm like, you download an Audible and then listen to it, and then 30 days later, I need to return this because there was problems.
Here's one of the sob stories. I didn't get any warning. New York actuary Shira Golan told the outlet after her account was permanently terminated earlier this month because she reported an unusual number of issues with her orders.
You said an actuary?
That's what
she should have calculated that the possibility of her account being closed for all of these returns was fairly high.
If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't buy clothes and shoes on Amazon. Golan, 23, says she spends thousands of dollars a year with the shopping giant and never expected she'd be punished for sending a few things back, especially when some things or some items delivered were damaged or not what she ordered. And I'm perfectly okay with that. But
she's saying it's a few. Who knows what the actual
thousands of dollars worth of items? Yeah, who knows?
Thousands of dollars is not really a lot of money when you're talking about clothes.
Well, I guess that's what she's buying. She's just buying T-shirts.
Yeah, who knows?
That's an awful lot of T-shirts.
Hey, let's go to Sarah. She's on the line here in New Mexico. Somebody who's never shopped online. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to mention that, when the media, I just learned this habit of, if they tell you that a candidate is really bad, and they make it, and then talk about how bad he is, I'll run out and make sure that I vote for that person. Because I do the opposite of what the media tells you.
Which media? No? Because the media is not one cohesive blob. There's a bunch of different parts of the media.
Well, you know what? If it's like a KKOB, if they're beating up Pat Davis, he's a Democrat. I know that he is the candidate that they're most afraid of winning the primary. They're most afraid of him winning the race. So then I know that is the one to vote for. If it's
that is an uninformed way of voting. I mean, I can understand.
That's the same sort of contrarian thing that has caused flat earthers to wind up existing because, I've got to just believe the complete opposite of whatever the government says.
Right.
And there's a globe, and the government says that somebody circumnavigated the globe, so I've got to believe the opposite.
Earther?
I'm not a flat
You're not
earther.
a flat earther.
I'm fascinated by flat earthers, but I'm not one.
Okay, good to know.
But it's gonna really hurt Daryl's ego when we find out that we do live on the back of a turtle.
Wait a minute, Sarah, do you buy that one? Because Sarah thinks there's people on the moon.
Today is World Turtle Appreciation Day.
Sarah, are you a flat earther?
Oh no, I believe in the round Earth.
Okay, are you? Since you believe people are on the backside of the moon, Conan, are you on board with the people on the moon theory?
Never been to the moon.
No,
ever.
Okay, she's never either, but she still believes.
No. He's saying humans haven't been to the moon.
No, we have not been to the moon.
Oh, okay. So
we have not.
Hold on, moon hollow or no?
Well, how can we tell? We've never been there. It might be cheese.
What about the Earth? Is it hollow?
Well, could be Pellucidar. Hollow Earth theory.
What is that? Pellucidar?
Yeah, that was an old Edgar Rice Burroughs fantasy novel from the way back in the days. Where
Sarah, is the Earth hollow?
Well, I don't know. I was told that the middle of the Earth is very molten, very, very hot, like a lava. That's what I was told.
That's what
I don't
they
know
want
if
you
that's
to believe.
all,
Yeah. So the lizard people want you to
But here's
believe.
the thing,
Atlantis.
Here's the thing.
I don't know, dude. Yeah, Atlantis is
thing
probably
is-
Sarah believes in Atlantis.
Atlantis is probably pretty kosher. It's just
Well, the thing is, there's two newspapers. The Alibi is the left wing. So if they endorse a candidate, I'll wrap it up. But
Hold
the
on, but they're
Journal
the
is
media.
Republican.
So I thought you did the opposite of what media said.
No, but there's different types of media. Like I said, there's more left wing. There's an Alibi newspaper, and that's a smaller newspaper.
So
and they're
only
more
big
left-
media. You only reject big media.
Well, I know what KKOB is about. They're Republican, and they're beating. And then the Fox News, if they're Ted.
Okay.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't watch
guy
that
on
stuff.
The National News.
Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Sarah. We're out of time. We'll see you tomorrow online in the meantime over at freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.47 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,294 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $37, and the average price